Hello? Can you guys hear me now? Are we good? Did I fix it? Mic's good. Webcam's this one. Alright, that's good. Thank Christ. So I've been prattling on for like 5 minutes, and my mic just has not been connected to OBS. But that'll be a fun blooper for the YouTube video. But luckily, Honorog's event has taken more time. Are you shitting me? All right. So Honorog's event has taken more time to get up than my computer has. I had a bunch of Windows updates that got forced about an hour and change ago, and it took like an hour to get online. I was gonna have to do round one on my laptop and like get onto the stream in round two. And then I got here and was trying to get everything up. I had to get MTG Melee up and Moto and get my OBS connected, blah, blah, blah. At noon, the pairings went up, and it was me versus elves. And I was like, oh shit, gonna die now. Except Honorog had to repair. It took like 20 minutes. Now we're here, 12:24. And now I've been paired versus a different elves player.
New pairing received.
Son of a bitch. I'm so mad. Ugh. I'm mad now. Molding. They're both on Reclaimer Elves. I'm playing against the Reclaimer Elves man himself, Newton. God. The actual fucking worst, huh? Pretty awful luck. Reclaimer Elves is much, much worse than normal Elves. Wait, does Newton not have the Cabal Pit in his list? Oh, wow. Alright. No, never mind. This matchup is much better than normal elves then, because Reclaimer's not a scary card anymore. Or not nearly as scary, I guess. I get to look at his deck list. I guess you guys don't, because I have it off screen and stuff, but... Yeah, sideboard is 4 Thought, 3 Leyline, 2 Decay, 1 Trophy, 2 Endurance, 1 Grist, 1 Outland Liberator. That's the... it's the Quasali Pride Mage guy. That flips, and then 1 Progenitus. Does he have a Grist in the main too? Wow, 2 Grists in the 75's interesting. It's like still pretty beatable. It's a little bit more complicated to Peacekeeper lock. No, it's not, because you just have 1 Mother of Runes in play and you're fine. Plus the Prelate on 2. They play the first Grist, make you sack a thing, or make you activate the Mom, and then they can play the second Grist and kill the Mom, but then the Grist is at 1, and you just need to go get a second Mom or like a Skyclave to answer the Grist. Okay, so that's like fairly beatable. Interesting that he chose Outland Liberator over just like Reclamation Sage. Gotta go to tournament practice, I think. Oh, is he waiting for me? No. Should I be waiting for him? Maybe. He's currently not checked in, but he DM'd me. I don't know what's going on. I'll just wait for him. What's up, Peach? How's it going? Nope. These are all people that aren't for me. Yeah, he's not even checked in on Melee yet. Guess I'll just hang out. Alright, so what are the quirks about Newton's list? I think I already talked about most of them. Reclaimer Elves, 1 Hoof, 1 Archon, etc., etc. 60 card? No, we're not playing 60 cards. Oh, shit. It just automatically grabbed a different list. This is the one I want. Thanks for that, Kesh. It would have been really awkward to submit the wrong list. Alright, we're good now. Maybe we'll win the... Oh, resize this window. Maybe we'll win the die roll at least. One can hope. We did not win the die roll. Everything's bad. Hey, MTG Walrus, thanks for the raid. It just started. Our event just started here. It's been a hell of a time getting this stream up, and now we're playing against one of our worst matchups. But you know, it's always a good time playing Magic. Oh, we're playing against Reclaimer Elves. We're playing against Newton. Hello Newton himself, one of the best Elves players around. This hand's great. We have like Plow, Spirit, Stoneforge, like 3 of our best cards for this matchup. You have a Legacy event next week and you're looking forward to it. Well, clearly you should play Yori on D&T. It's the best deck. I think I updated Stream Decker. One of the few things I managed to do successfully before this event started. Like, I'm not even sure. I probably just need to plow this Reclaimer. Cradle is still a scary Magic card, and like Mother of Runes is a lot less important in game ones when they don't have a ton of interaction. Cool. That card is not very good in this matchup. I mean, it might be relevant. Like play Recruiter, get Solitude, and it's just a white pitch card. Because if I just play Mom mostly in game 1 can protect from Grist and helps you attack through like Wirewood symbiotes and stuff, which is not super relevant. I think what's more relevant is weathering the storm, as it were, and like just not dying in the first couple of turns, which means getting Spirited Labyrinth and stuff down. Like, it's not hugely important. If we find a third land, we can just like play 2-drop plus Mother of Runes in the same turn, which is likely better. If we draw a third land, we can go Mom plus Stoneforge for Jite after we get Spirit down. Oh, well, now I feel like kind of a dumbass for killing the... It's interesting. I think that's slightly better, because it means if we draw a third land, we can just play Mom and put Jite down, which is really good. The one issue is that, like, Reclaimer is actually like, really obnoxiously good against Jite, because it's like hard to kill. Huh. Does he just have another Cradle in hand? Yeah. Well, that doesn't draw a card at least, but it looks like he's just setting him to NO me and kill me, you know, as you do. But yeah, the fact that we drew the Jite here is actually pretty nice, because assuming he doesn't have Natural Order, which is just going to fucking murder me, we get to play Mother of Runes plus Jite here, and then we get to pro-green our our Spirited Labyrinth next turn and start picking off stuff. Obviously, that's all contingent on not dying to Craterhoof Behemoth exactly next turn. But it's Elves, they always have it. Yep, play a thing. Well, you wouldn't play a thing if you had NO. Yeah, because you wouldn't tap the Cradle. You would have. How are the matches so far? I'm also a little late, and so is Honorog's event. This is the first game of the first round of the event, so you have not missed anything. I was late getting the stream on because my computer updated. Honorog was late getting the event going. Kind of want to just draw another land. Ooh, that's a good land. Actually, that's a less good land because he has a bunch of Elvish Reclaimers. So it's pretty easy. I might have to figure out what to do. It might just be Stoneforge for sort of Fire and Ice, just rather than Wastelanding, because Wasteland's so bad against these Reclaimers. Alright, well, step 1 is pro-green, equip attack. Step 2 is what am I going to do after that? Cards I'm worried about. It's hard. So we could, like, essentially port the Cradle with Wasteland, right? In upkeep. Or, like, at least prevent, like, an end-step activation here. Which might be relevant because this Cradle's really scary exactly this turn. Then if he untaps, I Wasteland the Cradle, he just reclaims it into another Cradle. These Reclaimers become 3/4s and really hard to kill. But we can always, the following turn, recruit Skyclave, or not recruit Skyclave, recruit Solitude and kill one at least. It might just be worth the Wasteland here. So now we also get to ping the... Oh, no, we don't get to ping the... No, we can ping the Arbor. Kind of. In draw step. Maybe I was supposed to actually Wasteland... No, I can't Wasteland end step. I'm dumb. They had 2 mana. If I pinged it in second main, maybe? It's kind of awkward, because I'm not sure exactly how to do this the best. I think it's ping here. They activate using Arbor plus Forest, and this just, like, ports them out of all their mana, at least. The cards I'm scared of are, like, Allosaurus Shepherd and Natural Order, obviously. So let's let this happen. He's probably just getting a land, right? Yeah. And then I think I'm supposed to Wasteland this, and obviously he just turns it into another Cradle. So it's just like a port that has to sack itself. But then after that... Wasting during draw steps, I guess, slightly different, because they could draw a Cradle. But it shouldn't matter a ton. But yeah, it's probably correct. But then next turn we get to Recruiter Solitude, and Solitude one of the Reclaimers down, and then they're, like, severely down on creatures. So I think it's correct to just try to cut the mana here. Does he have Onces in his deck? He does have Once Upon a Times in his deck, so I think I want to Wasteland the Cradle now, rather than give him a draw step. Because it's exactly 4 mana they can cast Once Upon a Time as well. Yeah, the Reclaimer build's a little slower. Yeah, this is what I expected. Then now we can recruit Solitude and kill a Reclaimer and, like, kill all these 1/1s, and then their board's massively weakened from the last turn, and, like, this Cradle's no longer as scary as it was. I think I'm going to ping a Visionary here just because I'm going to ping one anyway, so I might as well just take 1 less damage. So now we recruit Solitude, and Solitude a Reclaimer. All right, and now we've hopefully stabilized. There's a Collect Roof in the deck that we should be slightly worried about, but we also have Stoneforges in hand for, like, Kaldra if we need to. So they can, like, fetch... I'm going to attack. If they fetch Dryad Arbor, obviously, we can just ping it or pro-green before they go to blocks. And if they block, obviously, we can just pro-green and then pump. Do I get to attack with both here? I think technically, because I should get 3 counters. Yeah. I think I want Cauldron here just in case they find Green Sun or Oof. Tried 2 Commando and FNM last night just to see more of it, and it was gas. Yeah, I've heard like very good things about it. I think this is just like thinning the deck, or maybe grabbing a random utility thing. No, yeah, it's just thinning the deck. It's been nice in testing so far. It's just fetching a... Yep, they're just thinning out their deck for stuff. Trying to draw something. Don't know what their draw steps are at this point. Grist doesn't do anything, right? Grist can't... Oh, this is Green Sun for 2. Okay, yeah. This is why we grabbed the Cauldron, not like sort of Fire and Ice. This is fine. I can't do anything about it. Oh, never mind. This is a much better thing to do. Is Luna also competing? Yeah, Luna's also in the event. Stealing game 1 against Newton's big. Alright. But yeah, I've been very impressed with Commando so far. It's been like a pretty good... just like a random like flex option. It's possible you could want more. There are like just a lot of valid targets. Is there a case for gaining 6 life, or we have enough outs to 0-4 didn't matter? No, I don't think there's a lot of a case for getting 6 life. Like I don't think I didn't do the full Crater Hoof math on if like next turn they like fetched Arbor and like played a 1-drop and then natural ordered it or something. If we're like exactly dead there, I think we could have even like. We couldn't force a block. They were at 11. We only had exactly 11. We had 10 on attackers, and they could block with a 3-4. But, I don't think... There's maybe a case for getting, like, at least 2 life. If we draw an answer to the oof, then we can still kill the Reclaimer. Oh, my frames are plummeting again. Hopefully that just stabilizes. Alright, let me figure out how to sideboard before talking more. Gun to your head, you have to play Nubenalia or Luminarch Aspirant. What do you do? Luminarch Aspirant. Nubenalia is so bad. Like, I truly cannot get over how bad that card is. Can shave some Wisps, I think. Like that. I think Mangara is better than a Wisp. It's, like, not super... I mean, it's not... It's kind of close. They're both not the most thrilling cards in the world, but... But it is possible we just wanted to gain the 6 life there to like not die to something random, given that we were just going to untap, put Cauldron into play, and they were just like dead in 2 turns. So, it's possible that gain 6 was the correct option in case we died to like some like silly Crater Hoof stuff. I'm sorry about Mangara. Hey, I committed to it. I'm a man of my word. Oh, wait, did I cut one too many cards? Alright, cool. Get the 3rd Wisp back in here. Wait, what? Oh, because of the Cathar Commando I had already cut. Alright. I would like to reveal my companion. Yorion the Sky Nomad. Do I keep this? This hand's pretty bad. It's like, what, a Plow? It's a 6-card hand that has Mom Plow, essentially. Double Caracas is already a 6. Yeah, we can do better. Well, this is slightly better. I think I'm pretty sure I'd rather have a Spirited Labyrinth than a Mother of Runes, and then we don't have Double Caracas. And we have a Wasteland now. think I'm just solituding almost anything. Yeah. Hey, Cafe Grunt. Thanks for the good luck. We're gonna need it. Alright, we're gonna Wasteland that, potentially. I'd probably rather play Spirit than Wasteland here. Is Green Sun for one? Oof. Sure. Ooh. I kind of want to Wasteland them. They turn 2 oof, it feels like a really weak hand. So they what? They fetched basic forest, cast their 1-drop, and then just went Bayou Collector oof. Although Wasteland is like better served hitting a Cradle, right? Like it's not just taking them from like 2 to 1. How relevant is that? They would have like pretty sure they would have just played a Visionary over an oof if they had it, because like oof obviously not doing anything right now. I think I'm more inclined to play Spirit. Maybe even like... Nah, Stoneforge can't be right. We need to protect ourselves from Glimpse of Nature and Elvish Reclaimer. Or not Elvish Reclaimer, Elvish Visionary. It's possible maybe if you read that they don't have mana that you want to Wasteland the Bayou so they can't like decay the Spirit, but they also just have 3rd land, so... They did not fetch the Bayou, just natural. I'm okay. Okay, yeah, obviously. Much worse exchange. We can kind of force the Grist activation on our Stoneforge if we grab Cauldra, right? I think I'm just going to Wasteland Stoneforge Cauldra. Problem is that the fact that they fetched Bayou makes me feel like they have a removal spell, in which case we're just going to lose, right? Because they have Grist kill a thing and kill another thing, and we're just sad. I guess even just a 1-drop stops us, right? Because we can't attack it. They just Grist kill the Stoneforge and then put anything in the way of Spirit. Oh, wow. So they're just going to kill the Stoneforge here? Or like Decay or Trophy? Huh. Guess they just don't care about the Cauldra, which maybe. It's kind of a weird choice, but I guess maybe they're just gearing up to, like, Eno me or something next turn. Like, they just don't care about what I'm... Yeah, this feels like they're just gonna kill me next turn and nothing I do matters. If they didn't even, like, bother chump blocking with an insect to keep the Grist alive, it means that they're just gonna, like, Cradle Eno me. That's why they didn't play a land last turn, because they were like protecting Cradle from like Wasteland. Very confused by this line of play. What is happening? If it was just Decay Goad, wouldn't they want to like flip their guy at least? It's just bigger on the other side. They could have just decayed on my turn. What is the Bay? It's day. It is day because there's an Outland Liberator in play. I'm deeply confused as to what's going on here. This doesn't seem like a good line. I guess I'll play this Aether Vial. Yeah, it keeps the Outland Liberator from flipping. For whatever that's worth. Not that it can, like, kill the Cauldra or anything. This thing is indestructible, in fact. Sure. Sure. What are we gearing up for? I guess, I mean, we're just dead to this Cradle in 2 turns before we can kill them at this stage. Day Night doesn't proc by you playing cards. It is active player, right? Yeah, on their own turn. It's if the active player plays nothing. So like if they had passed the turn and I cast an instant, their thing would still flip. But if like if they cast a decay on my turn or whatever. We still need to draw something good to actually win this game. That's... I guess Mangara does beat Reclaiming Cradle. Do I want to deal one extra point of damage? Like, pro-green my Stoneforge? We take a lot on the crackback is the thing. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we probably can't afford to do that. I guess we could block the 3-4, right? Mom plus Mangara. Just, like, block pro... Oh, no, because the Mom would be down. Yeah, it's just not worth. I guess this is... Actually, this is probably worse than a Flicker Wisp, because a Flicker Wisp would just be lethal here, right? Oh, no, no, no. We'd be one off. Pro-green plus attack for 8. Attack for 3 in the air would be 8 damage. Never mind. This might be better than Flicker Wisp. One turn of not getting cradled is all we need. Assuming they have, like, Natural Order or Hoof in hand, which is what it looks like. Oh, shit. We can, Solitude, too? Do we want a Solitude? I really don't want to gain them life. Is there anything better to do here? Because, like, I want to pro-green my Kaldra, attack them down to 4, and then Mangara their Cradle. Like, that's just straight up and down the plan. And if I Solitude the Reclaimer, I just don't have lethal anymore. But there's nothing better to recruit for, is the issue. So maybe I just Solitude for insurance, in case that plan goes awry somehow. Sure. No! Damn it! God fucking damn it. Oh, Christ. They just drew the Cradle. Incredible. Wait, what? Are we not dead? Greensub for 2? Resolves? Wait, they have to have something. It's just Eno? They have Natural Order too, right? Because, like, you would just Greensub for Grist and kill the Mom to stay alive here. And not just, like, take a draw step. Yeah. Okay, never mind. Wait. Okay, no, they have Decay. Maybe I should have recruited for a second Mom? Was that the play? Ooh, that's a nice one, because now we can Solitude the Oof and Skyclave the Reclaimer, and then attack... Is attack all good? Trying to draw... I guess if they had Decay, and then cycling the Visionary is probably better than Grist. If they already had the Decay. I was thinking that, like, if you have nothing there, then blind drawing the Eno is probably worse than just Gristing the Mother of Runes, I think. So hang on. Do I want to do this pre-combat so they have to block with, like, 2 1/1s? Oh, we could Skyclave the blocker. That is... No, we can't Skyclave the blocker. Well, if they block with just a single 1/1. Wait, hang on. If they block with a 1/1... No, they block with an insect token. You can't even Skyclave that. Wait, they have to block with 2 insect tokens to not die? No, only 1. No, 2. Yeah. 2 puts them to 3. We can't Solituding it gains them a life, so that doesn't matter. And you can't Skyclave an insect token, so that doesn't matter. So I think the best bet is well, no, we don't want to pre-combat do it. I think they'd rather save their big guys anyway. But no, it lets me attack with more 1/1s. Solitude this, they go to 6. Skyclave the Reclaimer. They're still at 6. Attack everything. They get to eat one of my things. And then they have to, like... I think that's actually the same thing. I think they lose more blockers if I just attack like this. Wow, blocking with the Reclaimer. This is a really bad block, yeah. This block's really bad, right? Because I just get to kill both things because of how Cauldra works. I mean, I'll take it. This block just seems really, really bad. Oh, they're just going to sack the Liberator, blow up my file here. Duh. Wait, no, that doesn't... I mean... That doesn't... I mean, I don't really care if they do that. It still kills everything. I just, like, don't even know what I want to do now. I want to take away as many of their permanents as possible, I think. To turn off this Cradle, which I think just means Solitude, Oof, Skyclave, Visionary still. And just leaves them with 3 1/1s. That's still 1, 2... Could cut them off of more mana by Solituding the Arbor and just casting Skyclave. Wait, that's maybe better. Solitude Arbor, cast Skyclave on Oof. Leaves them with 3 1/1s and not, just 4 mana. Why is the Liberator not exiled? If it dies to actual damage before the triggered ability can resolve, then it doesn't get exiled. I think I'm supposed to do this. I think I just want to choke them out of mana as much as possible. Unfortunately, putting them to 5 is awkward because it means they just don't have to block any of these things if they don't want to. Or we're just getting glimpsed. Jeez. Double Glimpse Heritage Druid? That's a brutal series of cards to have. Hopefully they just missed and have no creatures. Says, GG, I played horribly this game. Yeah, the turn with the Grist was a really weird turn. I think they just, like, lost 5 life for almost no reason. Let's go. Let's go. Like, the turn that I attacked the Grist with the Cauldra, I thought because they didn't block at all, we were just dead. Because there's no reason to just not chump block with a single, whatever, insect. Because then the Grist stays live at 1 and gets to plus again, and then I need to attack it again, so it essentially gains them 5 life at the very least for basically no cost. Oh, we got there. Whew. But I think it was also maybe correct to recruit a second Mother of Runes that turn that I recruited Solitude. I recruited Solitude because I figured the game was like most going to be over one way or another, right? They were going to like untap and kill me, or I was going to untap and win. But I didn't think about the line where they just have another removal spell for the Mother of Runes. So yeah, I think I should have recruited a second mom to play around removal spell, because we like the way that we were playing, we were putting ourselves dead to okay, they find enough mana for Eno or Hoof. What do you think about Giver of Runes? Giver of Runes is like fine. There are a couple of cards that are fine. I think there are like 78-ish slots in this deck that are like more or less locked in, and you can play a number of cards in those couple of spare slots. Is Mangara actually worse than Second Dragon or Ballista or Giver? Yeah, I think so. I think Mangara did win us that game because they had Green Sun and they had double Cradle. So if we just like let them untap with Cradle, they just go Cradle. They had exactly 8 mana the turn they cradled. The turn that they drew the Cradle. So it wasn't enough to Green Sun for Hoof. But if they obviously had any other land, then we die. Or any other mana source. So Mangara did win us that game, but I think it's a lot worse than playing like a Charming Prince or like a second Cathar Commando, or maybe a Giver of Runes. A Ballista is another like fine option. Ballista would have been really good that game, I think. I'm trying to think back. Oh no, there was a Collector who played from turn 2. Ballista would have been really bad that game. I think Giver of Runes specifically, the reason I added a Giver of Runes like the very early iterations of the list was because the play pattern of like Mom into Stoneforge was way better because you had Cauldron in your deck. But I don't know if that's like worth playing a 5th Mom effect, because it's not like that powerful. Giver of Runes is like pretty demonstrably worse than Mother of Runes in a lot of scenarios, especially with how much Delver and stuff is going around. But like you can play a lot of stuff in those 2 slots and get like we're getting away with playing a Mangara, right? Yeah, I would probably be happy with a second Commando. I think the second Commando was what we were playing on Jarvis's stream on Thursday. It was just like this. It was this exact 80, but obviously not playing the meme Mangara. And then the sideboard was I think a little bit different. I forget exactly what we were doing. It's actually pretty close to the same, I think. Oh. Newton said, GG, I didn't notice you got Cauldron. It's still too early for me. That explains a lot of the weird lines in the early turns of that game. Okay. He didn't notice that I grabbed Cauldron, which, I mean, yeah. Just defaulted to assuming you got GT. Yeah. Okay. I mean, a lot worse grabbing GT in the face of the onboard collector oof, but... There's like a reasonable thing you can assume. Like obviously Elves probably pretty locked into like, oh, Star just always grabs GTA, right? Even if there's a collector from played, D&D does have like a lot of removal spells, so it might have still been like fine. But yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Obviously, if you know I had Cauldron, then the plays are a lot different. Cyborg Cage better than something tutorable with 80 cards. You just think of it as N. Yeah, exactly. It's just the N graveyard 8 cards, and like Graphics Cage is a little bit variable because you get to bring it against like stuff like Elves or other Green Sun decks, as well as some of the graveyard strategies. Well, like I said, it is very variable. You could turn this into a 3rd Surgical or a Fairy Macabre, stuff like that. I do like specifically N fast hate cards. Like I hate recipes like barely counts as a graveyard hate cards in the sense in the matchups that matter, right? Against Reanimator or like Oops, it's like okay, yeah, this card's never like coming down unless you have backup for it, like Trap or Deafening Silence or other stuff. How goes the dragon? Dragon's better than it looks, for sure. I like it more than the 33rd land, I think. It's the effect has been very powerful against most of the blue decks, generally speaking. Against Delver specifically, like, having a creature with 4 toughness and flying is really good against a lot of their stuff. Like, it's just so good against Dragon's Rage channelers. It's uncounterable, specifically uncounterable 4/4 with flying. So it's not like you can play it on 4 and not get it dazed or whatever, and it just blocks channelers or whatever. And just like it's a land a lot of times when you need it. D&T plays very, very slowly, so like the plane cycling's not the biggest cost in the world. I was playing 33 lands in this deck for the longest time. I think Dragon looks a little bit better than the 33rd land. Obviously, it's not like a full 1-to-1. I've had to mulligan not a non-zero number of hands where I had a 1-land Dragon hand that would have been really good with just like 2 lands. But that's the price you pay for flexibility, right? Got a Dragon a standstill player this week. Nice. Post 6 moms, do you think there are too many? I mean, like I said, I think there are about... So let's see here. I think, like, this is the... more or less the deck in its core. In the, like, the non-Saga versions. The Saga versions make the mana base a little wonky and, like, maybe some, like, one-drop artifacts. But, like, the Timeless Dragon, you could, like, play a 33rd land, maybe. But I'm a strong advocate for bare minimum, like, 32 land plus Dragon or 33 land. So, like, this deck doesn't get very many flex slots, and, like, you could play, like, 2 Giver Runes, or whatever. You could play Charming Prince, you could play Cathar Commando, like we are right now. I try to err on the flex slots being lower on the curve. Like, not this Mangara. Specifically because the one thing this deck doesn't do super well, sometimes, like, you're really glutted on 3s, and you really are starved for early game plays, so that's why I usually like stuff like Charming Prince or Cathar Commando, even though Charming Prince and Cathar Commando aren't necessarily 2-drops in that sense, right? You don't really play them on turn 2 super often, but you can. Giver Rune's in the same boat. Giver Rune's is like an actual 1-drop, which is nice in the early turns of the game, since you don't really have a ton of turn 1 plays, 8 turn 1 plays in your 80-card deck. So, like, most of those cards are fine. I won't say definitively what, like, the best option is, right? Especially because it's dependent on what you're trying to beat. If you're playing, like, locally, if it's, like, smaller metas, and you can, like, try to hedge towards certain decks, too. You can get away with a lot in the last 2 slots of the deck just because the core of the deck is very powerful and doesn't really change super often. Like, you could play 2 literal Squires in this deck and be fine. Sometimes you'll draw a Squire and it'll be really bad, right? But, like, that's the case for all... obviously, it's an exaggerated case, but it is still the case for most of the cards in this deck. Like, alright, sometimes you draw Mangara and it's really bad. Or sometimes you draw Cathar Commando against Elves and it's like, okay, this card's nothing. Yeah, Ballista's another fine option. I like Ballista. How do we win the Doomsday matchup? You don't. Yeah, I've been very impressed with the amount of, like, relevant targets Cathar Commando has going on right now. The fact that it gets to blow up Urza's Sagas is really nice. What was that? There's the meme. How do we do X? That's the good part. We don't. I forget what show. Invincible, was that? Was that the show? Invincible? It's an animated superhero show. That's where the meme is from. Yeah, what's the flexible spots on the side? I think... So, there are very locked-in cards. I think the sideboard is in, like, 2.5 sections. The only locked-in cards, I think, are these 3. I think Peacekeeper and Container Priest are the only, like, recruiter bullets, you really want, obviously, you need a Yorion in your sideboard. Whoops, I separated these wrong. I think you need 10-ish anti-combo cards. A lot of them want to be fast. Rest in peace is splitting the difference between an anti-combo card and an anti-delver card. And then you get a couple of slots for, like, just random flex cards. Removal spells, usually, or, like, stuff that you want in, like, blue matchups. I'm on Double Judgment right now. Sometimes it's, like, it looks like this, and this Judgment's, like, another anti-combo card. I've had, like, a Path to Exile on the sideboard before. It's just extra removal spells, stuff like that. Like, this stuff always wants to be, like, I've had Ley Lines in here at the start, Surgicals, Very Macabre, more Mindbreak Traps, more Deafening Silences, stuff like that. But basically, this is what your sideboard will always look like. I'm making the Invincible meme now. Oops. Alright, I've made my meme. I'll tweet it out later. I'm sure we'll play against Doomsday one of these days. Do you happen to have... what would you happen to have in the meta for 60 cards to be overall better again without new printings? Fragile mana bases? It's really tough to sell me on 60 cards nowadays. It's like, Yorion is just so far and away better in so many matchups. I think, like, you need to really have important and impactful cards in this, like, that you want to be drawing constantly in your 60. So, like, you would need Thalia to be better positioned as, like, it's like, Thalia has gotten so much worse against basically every deck, if you think about it. Like, Mana Denial plus Thalia used to be, like, a plan against Delver. Mana Denial plus, like, Wastelands and Ports used to be better against Control. Thalia used to be better when Storm was a thing, and now it's Doomsday, and Thalia looks like a fucking joke. So, like, you just don't care anymore. That's why you should play 4 Thalia, 4 Spirit, because, like, sometimes Spirit's better than Thalia. Especially against combo decks. Like, Spirit's gonna be better against Thalia than against Doomsday and stuff. Stuff like that. Wasteland, like you said, if you really want to draw Wasteland, that is a big one. Wale, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. If you really want to draw your Wastelands and stuff, but, like, again, Mana Denial is just, like, not as important for this deck anymore. It's just kind of really secondary to its plan in a lot of ways. So it would take a very weird-looking meta for me to be wanting to play 60. I think maybe if there's a meta where, like, Control is super dead and Delver's very low to the ground, and, like, you don't really get to have the value games with Yorion anymore, but, like, those games also don't really exist because every card is, like, just generates infinite cards now. Like, we have Ragavans and Uros and Expressive Iterations and Dragon's Rage Channelers and stuff. It's just, like, Fire Design has printed so many value engines that, like, you kind of need this catch-up tool. But, like, if for some reason that meta didn't exist, everything was really fast, there was, like, Control was really bad, and, like, you could, like, you were playing against combo decks and aggro decks and stuff, you really wanted to draw, like, Plows, and, like, you could just play 4 Spirit, 4 Thalia, and 60 or something to, like, try to beat combo decks. Like, maybe that's a world, but, like, we're, like, veering way off course of, like, what we're looking at right now. I don't like surgicals, but I do think we need this. I've played with the list without surgical, but yeah, I do think you need turn 0 especially. I think you need fast Graveyard Hate, Whether that's surgical or ley line, it's kind of like up to you and what you expect to play against. The uptick in lands is part of the reason. I think lands was like the actual worst matchup for ley line that you still wanted ley line. So I'd much rather have a split of like ley lines and surgicals and rest pieces and surgicals against lands. And then the uptick in lands coupled with the fact that rest piece got really good against Delver as they like settled on their lists, which is like actual 4 Murktide, 4 Dragon's Rage Channeler, and like started cutting Delvers. Meant that Rip got good against the Delver lists again, which means I kind of wanted it, and that kind of led to Leyline falling off. In addition to, obviously, you just need turn 0 graveyard interaction, because otherwise you'll be stone dead to Reanimator, and Oops, and all that bullshit. That's why we have like traps and surgicals and shit. Yeah, you can like play a macabre instead of a surgical if you have interactions like spots where that's better. But like as you said, if lands comes out, then obviously surgical gets a lot better. If you're just really teching for stuff like Reanimator and Oops, where you're like, okay, well Leyline or Fairy Macabre beats Oops through Pact of Negation and like better against Reanimator, and also is better with like Recruiter of the Guard, stuff like that, then yeah, you can play the surgical, or you can play the macabre. How many people are still going? How do I check that? How do I get to the actual event? Like this. Is it true that lands... I've seen some lists that play Ren and 7. It feels a little bit unnecessary for me. Like, playing a 5 mana big value card in lands feels like you're not targeting the right matchups. Like, if you're like wasting slots playing these gigantic value generators, then it's just like, why are we playing lands? Shouldn't you already be dunking on the blue decks and just have like, if you like go look at Jarvis's sideboard right now, he's playing lands in this event. Like his sideboard just like, okay, these cards are all for like combo decks and shit, because that's your bad matchup. If you need to be playing Ren and 7s to like have a shot against lands, it feels kind of insane. Wow, almost everyone is done. I think everyone besides the feature match is actually done. Yeah. Yeah, this is the feature match. Tony versus someone on... Oh, Jesus, a lot of lands players. Maybe I should have prepared for that matchup a little bit more. At least 4 from a quick glance. Wait, someone told me that Jarvis just beat elves. This is very clearly Tess. Wait, did Jarvis beat Tess? Wow, 2-0 Tess. Jesus. This is Wombo combo. Yeah, so Abzan Planeswalkers means just like stock blue-red Delver or something. Oh wow, he's not on stock blue-red Delver, but he is on like very clearly not what he named his deck. This is just...
Are you winning?
Yeah, I won match 1.
Okay, I heard you shouting at some point. What was that about?
Was I shouting?
You like yelled.
I don't remember. Chat, was I yelling at any point during this match?
Yeah, like, God damn it at some point?
I forget. Maybe it was when he top decked the Cradle, when Newton top decked the 3rd Cradle or 2nd Cradle? I forget. Maybe. I can't remember if I yelled. Land matchup still just Prelate plus Jailer for the win. That was the Loam matchup for a while. I mean, Jailer just, well, don't have Jailer in your deck. 100% the Cradle top deck? Yeah, I don't remember yelling, but I mean, I wouldn't be super doubtful that I did. This is just Turbo Forge? Yeah, so we just don't want to play against this deck ever. Did he win? He did win. Oh, against High Tide, lol. How's Luinil doing? Good old Jason. Wait. Oh, there he is. 2-0. Really? Really? I guess Death and Taxes isn't a good enough name. Wait, are we the only D&T players? Wow. There were so many D&T players in Honorog's last event, and now it's just me and Luinil. Play both Jailer and Mangara and be happy about it. I mean, that's the big thing. Do what makes you happy. That's especially if you're just like everyone's playing for fun. It's Legacy. Like, if you want to play to optimize your like fucking 1% upgrades in the whatever in the Delver matchup with your like fucking I can't even think of a good example, but like just play the cards you like. They're cool cards. You get to play them. This deck has a couple of slots. Where are we playing a Mangara today? I would not have registered Mangara if I like wasn't happy playing the card. Like the card's fun. Card 1 is like the card is playable. The new Benalia player truly gone. Yeah, they did not register for the event today. Unlucky. I still have their deck list. The deck list is so bad, but beyond the new Benalias too. It's insane. So many Lance players, though. This is ugly. And I think they all won. I mean, Lance versus Post. Lance is probably going to win, but I wasn't. Oh, I don't know what happened. I don't know who won. We're going to find Jarvis. Jarvis is currently streaming, so if you just go over there and type !deck list or whatever his deck command is. Oh yeah, or you can go to that tournament and go to his MTG Melee link. But yeah, this is what I was talking about. His sideboard's like 3 Endurance, 3 Force of Vigor, 4 Blast, 4 Sphere. Like, yes, Blast is like an anti-fair deck card kind of, but it's also like good against the Thoracle decks and stuff and Sneak and Show and all that. 4 Sphere versus 1 Torpor. Like, he's not fucking around with like futzing around with like random cards like Ren and 7 to like beat up Bant Control or whatever. Just like if your lands deck needs extra oomph to beat the blue decks, then maybe you shouldn't be playing lands. It's kind of similar to like the D&T list. Like if I'm sideboarding Cataclysms, why am I playing Yori on D&T? Like this deck, the reason that this deck was so good is because it eats the blue decks alive, and you get to you have all this space to devote sideboard slots to like the combo matchups and stuff. Oh, Tony stole it. Nice. Like, no, not nice. I'd rather play against lands than play against 12 posts. Jesus. Never mind, I take it back. Feels like 12 posts is a really, really good matchup for lands. But, I mean, we've seen, like, 3... between me and Jarvis, we've already seen 2 upset matchups. So, like, shouldn't be that shocked at a third. Especially with, like, great players, right? Like, Jarvis and Tony are masters of their craft, right? It's like, if anyone can, like, figure out how to win in those spots. It was clock, lands at 1. Okay, I see. Tony, I mean, also, Tony is really good at clock management. So I'm not super surprised there. Lands does take a while, and if you're not the most... I wasn't managing clock well because I was stressed. I usually don't manage clock well in, like, the first round of whenever I stream. I was still getting everything set up. Sandy Dog on Tess? Neat. Basically died to their own Tabernacle tree. Oh yeah, I've timed out to Tabernacle before in my life. Timing out to your own Tabernacle though is like some kind of perverse justice. Ruby Storm player. Like, the Ruby Storm decks don't even play Ruby Medallion anymore. It's pretty amusing. Oh, is this Reaple? Is this Reaple Cheap's real name? Justin? I never actually knew Reaple Cheap's name. And it might be a different Curses player, but like not like they're in a little short supply. Oh geez, Leon 5-color elementals. Wait, oh no, I'm getting baited. 2 people baiting me in this fucking. I mean, I expected it from Wombo, but Lee, I wouldn't have been surprised if he had just registered like legacy 5-color elementals. But I've been baited. Why is this deck list 1 Basalt Monolith, 2 Basalt Monolith? I'm not a filthy lucker. It's not my fault Newton didn't play at his best. We won game 1 pretty fair and square. That was just like a good game. Game 2, he made a lot of suspect plays. Is this just the Honorog special? Wow, no, it's got basics. It's got a Grim Lavamancer. And to treat the angels, whoa. 2 Prophetic Prism, main deck Relic of Progenitors. Wow, this is a deck. 1 sideboard Stifle. This is a pile of Magic cards, indeed. Newton said he played half asleep. Yeah, Newton. The game 2 against Newton, he was on autopilot a little bit. Whose deck is this? I don't know. I'm just looking at random lists while we're waiting for the next round. It was Spencer Huang, 4-color control. Yeah, this list looks like it can never beat elves. That tracks. How's the Bant Miracles matchup? For D&T, it's great. Love playing against the Bant decks. It's better in the 4-color list, too, because they, like, cut even more of the scary cards. They cut down more on stuff like Terminus and Dress Downs in favor of just, like, greed cards that you don't care about. And their mana base is worse, which you can sometimes attack, but it's not generally the highlight of what you're doing, because you only have 4 Wastelands, 4 Ports in your 80-card deck. Four-color loam. Is this the Connor list? No, this is just not 4-color loam. This is just 4-color actual cards. Wait, is this 4-color for a single expressive iteration in the main? And I guess technically prismatic ending. Is it just... Oh, there's a Triome and a Volk for, I assume, sideboard blasts, right? For 2 blasts and 1 expressive iteration. Love it. Jason's probably on 2 dragons. He loves dragon more than I do. I think Staticaster is better than Terminus versus D&T. He's insane. Staticaster is, like, not even... Like, there's so much removal in D&T. He's flat out wrong. Like 1 toughness, like, pingers and, like, Plagueis stuff have never been worse against D&T than they are right now. D&T is so much removal and, like, less X1s. Maybe not less X. Maybe less X1s might not be correct. I don't actually know the math between 60 and 80, but just, like, it's so much easier for D&D to play a control game and stuff and be able to remove a permanent that's, like, pinging things rather than just, like, get wrathed. How's the sneakage matchup for D&T? It's fine. Normal sneak is better than Omni. Depends on how many Omnisciences they're on. If they're on, like, 0 or some in the sideboard, it gets worse, but it's still very good. Solitude made the matchup a lot better, too, because you can Solitude an Emrakul if you need to. Cauldron made a lot of your combo matchups better in general, stuff like that. It's probably the best of, like, your expected combo fields. You'd rather play against Sneak and Show than most other combo decks. Yeah, it is true. Who am I to question Honorog's judgment? He is a D&T expert, so maybe he just knows something that I don't. Everyone's done. Are we, like, waiting for something? Wait. Wait, no. He is playing 5-color elementals. It's right here. I can see his deck list. What the heck? Huh? Question mark? It's the wrong image. No, so he changed the list, but, like, he didn't change the deck name, but at some point he did register a 5-color elementals list. The second Satacaster is much better than the second Terminus. I guess I can't look at Honorok's deck list because he's not in this event, is he? What's team or combo? Oh no, Footfalls. God, I hate this deck. Is anyone on the actual Honorog version of Bant? 4-color Snowco, maybe? No, these all just have 3 basics. I already looked at this one. This one was the... Oh no, this one has 3 expressive iterations. 1 Terminus, 1 Staticaster split. Footfalls is miserable. Yeah, it feels like it's... I played against it... I haven't played against it in Modern ever, because I haven't played Modern in a million years, but... I think I played against it twice in Legacy, and I have to imagine the experience is very similar. This is actual Maverick, or am I being baited by yet another deck list? It's actual Maverick. Did Void mirror a football player in Modern? That is pretty sick. I don't know if the record function will work. Oh, but I should just update the title of my stream, and that'll tell everyone that I want to know. Actual factual Maverick with Outland Liberator. 1 mother. I love the numbers in this deck, and yet we're still registering 4 Night Reliquaries. We've somehow settled on 4 Knights being correct in like this deck that has like nothing else but 1s and 2s and 3s. It's like it's we're no longer in a 4 Knight meta with actual Maverick. The card's so much worse than it used to be. Like you get away with it in depths, right? Because it tutors for the thing you use to kill them. I feel like Maverick just doesn't get away with that though. You just need to like be playing other stuff. Not really a knight deck. Like, what are we knighting for here? Our Caracas, our Wastelands? Oh, is it 3 moms? There are 2 moms somewhere else? Man, I keep getting baited by that. At least it makes... I like 3 moms a lot better than 1 mom, that's for sure. 4-color is always correct. I talk a lot to Miranda, and I don't think Miranda is of the same opinion. Like, I get it. It's, like, the reason you're playing Maverick. You just want to play 4 Night Reliquaries, but, like, you gotta put better cards in your deck sometimes. It just doesn't do anything. It's just, like, a big ground idiot that, like, you can wasteland your opponent out of the game sometimes if you really want to. But, like, everything flies now. Do we not even have a Bog in this deck? Like, Knight was good when it was good against Delver. Now it's just heinously bad versus Delver. That's the big thing. The deck has always struggled versus Plow, right? You've never been happy with your Miracles matchup, but, like, when Maverick got to be a Delver killer, you were very happy. And, like, Neither Reliquary used to be just, like, huge versus Delver, right? You just got to be bigger than everything, unboltable, and, like, blocks everything besides Delver of Secrets. Now everything in the world flies. And you just have a bunch of, like, ground idiots in your deck. cut Hex Trigger for more humans. Sigarda is better. I don't even think there's a Hex Trigger in this list. Hex Trigger is like pretty cool though. Yeah, you need to start running Spider Silk Armor. Is there a creature that like gives her all your creatures reach or something? Archetype of being a weird spider. That's the play. I'm also not convinced Outland Liberator is better than Quasali Pride Mage, but that's probably something to like to play and figure out. The problem is that like Maverick's really bad at flipping it, right? It takes forever.
New pairing received.
Well, enough talking shit about Maverick. We're playing against Sneak and Show. Wait, yes. It's Omni Show. Unlucky 3 Omniscience main Sneak. That's pretty bad for me. What am I looking for? Eggy Benny. Oh, Travis Benedict. This is a strong name. You only have to get it to 7 toughness now? Do you know how much toughness that is? I usually would like to wait for my opponent because I'm lazy, but maybe I should not wait for my opponent. Oh, nope. Being lazy pays off. Oh, did I submit the same? I hope I submitted the right list. Okay, yeah, it didn't randomly change on me again. Whew. Paranoid after round 1. Wow, losing the die roll again. How unlucky. Yeah, keep. That's very good. Wasteland's better against Sneak than it is against Omni. Port's obviously really good. Thalia's really good, stuff like that. I'd be much more excited to have the Sand on the play than on the draw, that's for sure. There are 3 Dazes main. There's probably a world where I port instead of Thalia on turn 2. Maybe they'll just like play non-basic and I can just Wasteland instead of Thalia on turn 2. How much fast mana are they playing? 3 Tomb, 2 City, 4 Petal. No monkeys. I guess monkey being Simian Spirit Guide. I guess that's a little ambiguous in the Year of Our Lord Ragavan. I mean, it's like Sneak and Show, right? They have 3 sneak attacks. Stuff like that. They have some dirtle bullshit. It's not just like streamlined Omni. But they also have 3 Omnisciences, so it's one of the hybrid builds. Yeah, they have like Omniscience and Cunning Wish and Sneak Attack, which feels like a lot of like chunky stuff. Ooh, Solitude is an extremely good draw. Probably one of the best draws in the deck, honestly. I would be fine with the days. Alright, well. They cast like Chardu Show until. Nah, I'd put in Thalia, not Solitude. Yeah, because this lets me. If they put in a fatty, I can Solitude it, and if they put in an Omniscience and then into a fatty, I can still Solitude it. So yeah, this feels like it's definitely supposed to be Thalia. Putting a Solitude's good if it's Grizzlebrand, right? Because I want to be able to start attacking them for more. Feels too greedy, though. They have 3 Omnisciences in the deck, and they know it's D&T, so it could easily just be Omniscience, and I put in Solitude, I just fucking lose. Yeah, I think it's gotta be Thalia. Man, thinking about how much better this game would have been going if I just had won the die roll. I think if I win the die roll, this game is just, like, insanely hard for my opponent to win. You just also have Emrakul. Nice. No Emrakul yet. Probably just meant that they have, like, cantrips for it. Which means we just get to port the City of Traders. This could just... Maybe it's supposed to Wasteland? No, it doesn't matter. Like, Cunning Wish for stuff. I guess it does kind of matter. But I don't think I get to... I don't think I have the luxury of trying to play around Cunning Wish because they're just so high in life. Like, if they were lower, and the Wasteland had a chance of, like, stopping them from killing me, then it's more of a line. But, like, I need to be able to hit more things with Mana Denial, I think. Which means I need to port this so I can... So you play, like, a Volcanic Island or something, and I can Wasteland that and start porting the island, stuff like that. Well, they just looked at 7 cards. It's pretty good. Emrakul dies to Solitude, right? Yes, but they'll be at 32 and have an Omniscience in play, which is not the best for me. Good news is we can find Cathar Commando. You got like 4 careers and a Cathar Commando to draw towards. You can actually get this Omni off the table, which you just couldn't do with D&T previously. I don't think I get to put in this Mother of Runes. As much as I want to pressure them more, I just can't Solitude anything if I do that. Just draw Cathar Commando. Come on. Come on, deck. Do me a solid. Do me this one solid and just give me Cathar Commando. Why are we spending so much time on my upkeep? I'm thinking about casting an instant right now. Around something that I could draw. Oh, that's a magic card. So we play Port here in case we just wanted to double Port next turn and don't want to show the Wasteland. Does mean I could potentially cast the Mother of Runes this turn, but I think I'd rather keep the Mother as a Solitude pitch card and take this vial up to 3. Stop having lands, please. Fetch a Volcanic. Do something. So now we take the battle to 3. I am also impressed I haven't died yet. My opponent looked at, like, 10 cards last turn. Or the turn before that. Impulse Brainstorm, Fetch Brainstorm. And I didn't just instantly fucking die. They have 3 Emrakuls, 3 Grizzlebrands. That's not a very good draw. If only I could Skyclave 10 drops. Yeah, hand is just counters and lands. Like, yeah, there's nothing else you wouldn't have cast yet. Every other card you would have just put into play for no reason. Like, there's the fetch. because they know their last Brainstorm card. Mountain. I mean, I guess I port that because it activates Sneak Attack. And, like, colors don't matter. They have an Omniscience in play. If they float, I'm just going to port again. I don't care, and, like, I don't want to give them mana in their draw step instead. That's a pretty good one. Yeah, I guess they just have a counter and I die, huh? That's my life. Can't Skyclave a 15 drop? Maybe they'll cast 2 non-creature spells and let me... Maybe not supposed to work. I don't think so. I don't think not porting player on days is correct in like in a game that they've clearly like not done anything for numerous turns. We just want to be able to deny them the max amount of ability to do things. And they have 3 dazes. They could easily just have Force of Will as well. Their list is pretty cold to Peacekeeper. Not 100%. So, like, if we just have Peacekeeper and they have an Omniscience, they could definitely cycle into... Wait, no, you can't Explosives a Peacekeeper. Oh, no, they have Petal. They have 1 Intuition. I think that means... I probably don't board in Surgical. Get these plows out of my deck. Oh, we had Mangara draw, too. Mangara does kill Omniscience. In terms of removal spells, they have 1 Abrade, 1 Echoing Truth, 1 Kozilek's Return, and 1 Bolt. Catch you later. Cutting off the potential to chain 1 fewer cantrip top deck that much better than ignoring days on a turn. We had already heard they had a decent shot at winning. I think so. I'd think playing around days specifically, like, just doesn't matter more than like letting them spin their wheels less. If they don't have any more cantrip, like if they don't have any more lands, then they just get to cast 1 cantrip that turn and say go. Or cantrip into Emrakul or whatever, and then they have shields down on Force of Will on Solitude as well. Stuff like that. Because we're double porting them. They had 3 lands in play. They played the 4th land, but I just really don't think playing around 3 dazes in a game that, like, I'm very easily losing anyway. Like, if I resolve that Solitude, they're at 32 life, and I have 4 power in play. Like, do we really think I'm winning that game, or am I, like... And they still have an Omniscience. Like, I'm desperately trying to stay afloat as best I can, and I think that the way that you win those games is just by maximizing your ability to, playing for the games that you can win. What else am I cutting? I probably shave some of Moms. Yeah, the fact that they had 4 cards in hand meant that their hand was all counters anyway. We already can't beat Force of Will. Like, playing around 3 days just doesn't really make any sense to me. I think we can just shave, like, 1 Stoneforge. Stoneforge is good. Stoneforge for Culture is still good. Maybe Stoneforge is better than Second Mom, but Moms are important in these post-board games. A little bit less important because they do have a little good old Kozilek's Return. Needed a new Benalia to win. Yeah, if I had a new Benalia instead of one of those other lands, I could have, like, scryed and maybe drawn my Cathar Commando. I should have drawn my next card to see if it was Cathar Commando. Realistically, I just need to get better at winning die rolls because that game is super over if we're on the play, right? Is this hand good? It's not bad. It's got turn 2 Spirit, turn 3 Port, so I think it's, like, good enough on the play. Double Mind Break's kind of funny. Spirit is one of your better cards against Sneak and Show. It stops like Omni Cantrip Lines, obviously shuts off Grizzlebrand. It does not currently shut off Grizzlebrand from beating the shit out of me, but you know, D&D has a lot of answers to that. Maybe they'll just like turn 1 me with force backup. Single force backup. Come on. Soul Land, Pedal, Show and Tell. Wait, no. I can't beat that. They need like 2 pedals. I can't even Mind Break Trap that. Second Mind Break beats the force on our first Mind Break Trap. Yeah, exactly. Play Port here specifically because if we draw Wasteland and they fetch a non-basic. Next turn we Port. Next turn we Plain Cycle and Port, I guess. We got a big guy to put in off a Show and Tell. How are they going to beat that? They're just going to like Soul Land Omniscience Emrakul me here. And I'm going to have 2 Mind Break Traps on my hand. What do we got? We're not dead. I'm thinking. Oh, we might be dead. Oh boy, Lotus Petal. Oh, these Mind Break Traps. Uh-oh. Never mind. Wait, what? I'm scared. I'm suddenly extremely scared. What's going on over there? This is like just Cunning Wish? And then playing out the pedal in case of like Thalia? They like drew pedal for turn. What's happening? Do they want red mana up? They don't have it. Are they weighing like not playing the tomb so I can't like port them off of stuff? Where are we? Now we're waiting on my upkeep for something? Kozilek's return? Ooh, it's a nice pickup. Might not Plain Cycle this anymore. Yeah, I shouldn't have played my land. I should have attacked first, but that's like extremely minor. It doesn't know, like I can't wasteland them now for however much or little that's worth. I don't know how much of their sideboard stuff they boarded in. Because, you know, they are a wish deck, so they probably want to leave some amount of, like, removal spell options as wish targets. Well, I'm just going to say go. Don't have anything else to do this turn. Cast your spell, I guess. Is this... Okay, yeah, there's Cunning Wish. Cunning Wish for something. Bounce spell, Kozilek's return. Well, we get to see at least something that they get to go for here. Intuition. They can, like, Intuition. In response to my port? Yeah. Yep. Intuition for 3 Omnis, or 3 Emrakuls, or 3 Show and Tells, or whatever. Maybe I do want Surgical. I didn't notice the Intuition on the board, but obviously it makes sense. But like one intuition main and one intuition side probably makes surgical good enough. No land, just say go. Dang, unlucky. Wasteland. Well, the old Deafening Silence Mindbreak Trap combo. So I have a couple of options here. I could... Let's attack them, because that's the first thing to do. So I could hold this Deafening Silence and use it as my Solitude pitch card and put in a Timeless Dragon off Show and Tell. I could put out the Deafening Silence to protect my Solitude from, like, Force of Will. If they just, like, Omni-Emmy me. Like, their cantrip's already turned off. Got Deafening Silence on the Mindbreak back up. This is good. Can't hope they play it out and hope they counter it. I don't know. So next turn, I'm going to port them. They're going to untap, and they're going to cast Show and Tell, right? And then they put an Omniscience, and they cast Emrakul. Then what? They've cast 2 spells, which means I can still Solitude the Emrakul, and I have Mindbreak, 2 Mindbreaks for Force of Wills. I have Spirit shutting down cantrips, so, like, Deafening Silence shutting down Omni cantrips doesn't really matter. So I think I do want to put in this Timeless Dragon because they're going to gain 15, is my thought. I just want to beat them to death. So I think I just say go. And use it as my pitch card for Solitude against Emrakul. I almost want to port the island to make them take 2 more damage, but they could just have another land. Show and Tell. We get to put in Timeless Dragon. There's Grizzlebrand, which is beatable. And now we can Mindbreak Trap anything else they cast this turn. And if they don't cast anything, we just Solitude the Grizzlebrand on end step. There it is. This one can resolve. You're allowed to look at the top 3 cards of your library and not draw one. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just supposed to... No, because I need this in case they have Force Will as their last card. Force for my Solitude. They did not shuffle, which is kind of scary. Ooh, Field of Ruin. I can shuffle them? That's pretty nice. They did. Hang on, let's double check. Ponder, prevent drawing. Wait. Ponder, chooses not to shuffle, draws a card, prevent draw. Yeah. So they did not shuffle. So we definitely just Field of Ruin them. Oh, come on. Please let me draw Caracas. One-time dealer. Can't Skyclave that. I mean, yeah, we're still alive. We're not in the best spot. We currently deal them 8, 9, 10, so 3 damage a turn. We get, yeah, we have several draw steps. It's not like this Grizzlebrand gets to draw them cards. Mother Rune's is a good draw. I think I want to put Yori on my hand rather than port them. Like, the porting them doesn't really matter at this stage. I almost put Yori on my hand last turn instead of playing Skyclave, but I think I needed more damage on the board. Thinking about forcing this? Yeah. Look at your top 3 cards. Did not shuffle. That's bad. Didn't draw anything relevant. They have 1 card in hand. I think I have to attack with the Timeless Dragon and hope they don't have Force Will, right? Because technically I'm winning this race, right? I have lethal if I block with Yori on this turn. Attack for 10, put them to 2. They gain up to 9. And then we have lethal, right? I mean, they know their top card, which means we're probably dead, but I think the best line of victory is attack all, cast Yori on. I guess I gotta cast Yori on pre-combat, because I'm not gonna double block this Grizzlebrand, right? I'm not, like, flickering anything here doesn't matter. I'm not gonna flicker my Timeless Dragon and then stack block the Grizzlebrand. That's just not the plan. So I can just cast it pre-combat and not lose to Force of Will, right? But they kept the card on top, which means that we're probably just gonna fucking die. Yeah, of course. Frustrating that we died with this Mindbreak Trap in hand. And I could have potentially... Well, no, like, because the punter didn't actually end up mattering, because we happened to draw the field for it. I also think we had to not cast the Mindbreak Trap there to not beat Force. But it's really annoying. The old 1-1. Well, I've lost a lot of round 2s and had very successful tournaments. Losing round 2 is basically a blessing at this point. I believe Lackey lost round 2 in the Showcase Challenge that he got 2nd place in. I think I lost round 2 of the last Honorog event. Yeah, losing round 2 is actually just the calculated play. But yeah, I think we played that game very well. And just their draw steps looked a lot better than ours. That's just the life we chose to live. Honestly, I think they probably fucked up. If they just waited on their Cunning Wish and not cast it into Mindbreak Trap, then we just, like, easily lose that game. Like, I don't think there was any reason to. They weren't dying, right? They had a Grizzlebrand in play. They weren't dead next turn or anything. So I don't think there was any reason to cast that Cunning Wish. They could have just cast it on our turn. and then we just like super die. I'm trying to think about if double blocking ever mattered. No one expects Mind Break Trap. The deck lists are open. But yeah, Mind Break Trap doesn't like it. It's pretty clunky against the Show and Tell deck sometimes, as was seen there when they just cast Show and Tell and Omniscience and then cast their Fatty immediately. It's just like, okay, well now I have a Mind Break Trap and you already have your giant thing in play. That is the life we live. Yeah, I think I was supposed to find more cuts for surgicals versus one intuition main deck, then wish for intuition potentially. I'm trying to think about if maybe I should have ported the island the turn they cast Show and Tell. If they do have a land, it doesn't matter, right? Because they have Omniscience to play, and now their spells don't cost anything. And if they don't have an island, it means they take 2 damage, and they did like win that game at 2 life, right? So like if we had ported an island there, they would have had to tap the Ancient Tomb or have another mana source to cast that Show and Tell. So maybe that was the line. Because the post Omniscience mana just didn't actually matter. It's not like we didn't have a Thalia in play or anything. And even if we did, like they would have to take the 2 damage to cast those spells anyway, so they're like taking the 2 regardless. Yeah, I think that was a minor misstep there. Unfortunate. But yeah, I don't know what the sneak sideboarding plan looks like. It's like a little bit wonky. So Honorog can get Legacy events to fire, but the challenges don't. I mean, Honorog's not firing this event at the same size that the challenge would be. There's like 38 people or something. I'm tagged somewhere. Oh, never mind. Not important. Not for the event. Where is the Honorog event? Yeah, 38 people, which wouldn't fire a challenge either. It's also at a better time for a lot of people, right? It's the challenge is at like 6. It's like 6 a.m. Central, 4 a.m. Pacific, 7 a.m. It's like better. It's like not even that good for like East, like the Japanese audience or anything. I think it's at like midday for Europe. It also costs $5. Yeah, it's also free if you're subbing. It has coverage, which I guess doesn't really matter if you're playing in it as much. Oh, he's Jeff on as a commentator. God, I hope I never get on camera today. Oh, is this round 1 still? Update my pairings. Who's Jeff? Real Pokemokey on Twitter. If you recall that one December night where I bombed out of the showcase really badly, and he made an extremely rude and demeaning tweet about it. Yeah, that guy. Amongst other things. How many Doomsday players are there today? Only one. It's nice. Not getting murdered by Thassa's Oracles today. There are a ton of lands players, which is something that I don't know if I expected. Oh, wow! Jason actually can never dodge Tony. Incredible. Into Play has an incredible knack for playing against Death and Taxes players. He has some sort of like Thalia magnet built into his deck. It wins the next round. There's no round timer. So it's basically just when everyone finishes. I mean, there is a round timer, I guess, based on when everyone started their matches. But there's no like, all right, next round starts at X time. Yes, exactly. Tony did indeed find where the white women at. a lot of those in D&T. But yeah, this matchup's also just heinous for D&T, and Jason will post a screenshot of playing against Post like almost every league. It feels. Wait, is that why I'm tagged? Gotta know. Oh no, it's Jarvis. Jarvis tagging me about losing to Sneak. Okay, what does Tony's current list look like? This list like hasn't changed. I mean, it does make sense. Tony's list is like pretty locked in. I love the post sideboards, just 4-4-4-3. It's just all like anti bullshit. But yeah, no, this matchup's heinous for D&T, and Jason can never dodge it. Time to make fun of him. I get to practice my Twitch APM as I jump between 3 streams. Isn't like multi-Twitch a thing? You can just like have 3 streams up and like unmute the one that you want to listen to at any given time. Did I update my score to 1-1? I did. I remember this time. It's an event with 2 D&T players too. I can't get over that. I'm gonna play against Tony next round, I swear. Wait, if he wins, I can't. Yeah, Lackey just likes to play on hard mode. Oh, he's... Oh, alright. Let's... Oh, wait, no. I shouldn't... Yeah, never mind. I'll bug Luno more after his match. He's probably still playing... Wait, is he still playing? Yeah, not reported. Haven't played Legacy in a week. Now, yeah, that was me for a while. Until I was like, I should probably play in this Honorog event. I said I would. And then I'm going to go back under a hole and not play. Reaple cheap 2-0. Sick. It's like terrifying. It's just like D&T's actual 0% to ever beat this deck. I guess we have Cathar Commander now, so maybe you're like 1% to beat this deck. Wow, Luna won. Jeez, unbeatable. What is Azorius aggro? Oh, wow. Actually, Azorius aggro. I don't know what I expected. It's just blue-white affinity. Everyone's stealing bad matchups today? Yeah, for real. I beat Elves, Jarvis beat Storm, Jarvis beat Tess. What was Lunel's last match? I already forgot. But then Lunel beating Post after that. Now I'm in the Tony bracket. Wait, no, now I can't dodge Tony. Fuck. Oh, Luno got the buy round one? Sick. Wait, there are 38 people. Did someone not show up? Oh, they conceded. 4-color Storm. Just Tess again. Yes. Oh, I didn't check in chat. Wow, now Lunel's making fun of me instead of me getting to make fun of Lunel. Unlucky. Oh boy, this is what's the play if I've ever seen one. Oh, yes, hang on. The more important thing, my time has come to quote tweet Max. because I invented his deck on accident as a meme. Me and Lackey did. Invented his deck a week before he did. Maybe I should wait until he top 8s. Because I do specifically say that it's an easy top 8. Is he 2-0? He is. Wait, how can I know that? I guess he's table 2. That's how I know that. Where did my screenshots even get saved? Oh god. I never used this picture enough. Or the picture. This PC enough. Oops. Oh, he beat Wombo Combo? Oh, was he the feature? I think Wombo was... Oh, well, I guess I can't check now, huh? But Max's deck list is extremely funny. Because it is just blue-red Saga with black cards, because people have decided to build this deck in every single way possible. There was the list that Arkin had that was like blue-red Saga with 2 Elvish Reclaimers, 2 Uros, and 1 Loam or whatever. There's the normal Jeskai Saga lists. There's blue-red Saga with no color splash. And now there's... So me and Lackey about a week ago memed about Grixis Saga. And then Max just invented it. Alpine Moon, Wambo's Sagas. Yeah, that seems pretty good. The deck has like 16 lands. God, this is a fucking what's the play. Alright, hang on. Let me pull this up for stream. I don't know. Paint? I just want my image. Oh god, why is it gigantic? Can I shrink this? Hello? Resize? Wait, no, this is just gonna cut part of it, right? If I go 50, it's not actually resizing it, is it? Oh, it is. Okay, nice. What's the play? Jason says. So, post-combat, we have Yorion in Companion Zone still. Known Eye of Ugin in hand. Cannot activate this Thespian stage. There's a Cage in play. No double green. We have a Wasteland. We have a Recruiter and 2 Vials on... Jesus Christ, I hate this. I hate this so much. Notably Needle on Wasteland. Six. 10. You can't set up lethal if you Recruiter, Skyclave, Wasteland. You can set up lethal if you Recruiter, Flicker Wisp, a Cloud Post. Is that what we want to do, though? Because we also probably, if possible, we want to have the ability to, like, backdoor win through crop rotation. Playing around 2 crop art most of this game, but I think it's clear in this turn that they don't have it. I will operate under that information, because I have not. Obviously, when you're in a game, it's a lot easier to get a feel for what they do and do not have. Stuff like that. Oh, you didn't know that till end of turn. Okay, yeah. Because I was about to say, they could pretty easily have a crop rotation here. Not that it matters a ton. I guess it does if you want to Flicker Wisp a thing. I guess you could always just Flicker Wisp on upkeep, though, instead of end step. Because it's not like they can do a lot with 3 mana. Repping on an early turn, I could have wiped Needle to waste. Yeah, that makes sense. So, the level 1 play, to me, feels like Wisp upkeep lets them lose stage. What are they using stage on, though? I guess it gives them more mana, because they can stage their Cloud Post, right? But how much do you care? If you Wisp a Cloud Post and then they stage their Cloud Post, they have 6, 7 mana? Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? How much does that matter? Ivugan goes to 9. They can't Ulamog you still. They can't, it matters if they have Forest Primetime, right? Or Green Source Primetime? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it doesn't. Because they could still Primetime you. And, like, they can't... It doesn't take them down, like, off of Ulamog or whatever. If they play a Glimmer Post, maybe? Glimmer Post goes to 4, 8, 9, 10. Exactly. So it would take them off of Glimmer Post, natural Ulamog, right? So anyway, the thing I was saying, but not, like, wasn't thinking a lot. The first play in my brain is what? Just Thalia, Recruiter, Wisp, Cloud Post, Upkeep. Which does not beat Crop Rotation, which is a very scary card, right? Because then we have to deal with Glacial Chasm. So is there a way that we can stunt their mana and also figure out how to beat Glacial Chasm? Or, like, at least have a plan against Glacial Chasm? Because the Wisping is the worst if you're not going to immediately win next turn, right? Because it gives them all access to just a million mana in 2 turns, and then they'll die and they'll just kill us. I don't know which of my questions you said yes to, because I was just talking out loud. Is it yes to there's a way to stunt their mana development and also have a backup plan against... Oh, I guess if there's one that has play against Chasm. Oh, wait. Is it? Oh, okay. I think I see it. Because there's no reason... Because I was thinking for a while that we needed to, like, double Recruiter into Wisp to get lethal, right? But we don't, because we have this Thalia. So we can just cast Thalia, put Yorion in hand, and then recruit Wisp. And then next turn, if they have Glacial Chasm, we attack. If they Glacial Chasm us, we can Wisp... Or we can Yorion 3 Wisps and a Recruiter of the Guard. And then the 3 Wisps just hit a bunch of lands, and then we can also get a 4th Wisp or something else to beat Glacial Chasm. Or, like, Skyclave the Needle so we can Wasteland the Glacial Chasm or something like that, right? Is that the play? Just Thalia, pick up Yorion, and then recruit Wisp, and then Wisp a land. It's Wisp upkeep, right? Because if we Wisp end step, you Wisped the tapped stage. So you Wisp end step? Wisp end step's really bad against Wisp end step's really bad against the crop rotation, right? Wait, is it? How much mana do they have? We're just thinking about Ivugan. And they, in response to your Wisp, they crop rotate your post. Yeah, they have Ivugan in hand, but how much mana do they have? They just have the 3. Does this net mana if you activate Cloud Post? No, I don't think it does. They have 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. Play this. Go to 6 mana. They only have 8, right? They can Ulamog you with another post. With Yorion in hand, you could beat Ulamog? Maybe. And they do need another post to Ulamog you. But why is end step better than upkeep? Doesn't it cut them off of more outs, especially if you think they have the crop rotation? If they for sure have a way to cast the Ulamogs to deny 2 mana, I guess. Decided I couldn't beat Crop Rot, but then you just don't have to take a line that beats Glacial Chasm, right? Because I just think, like, the 2 mana doesn't matter a ton, right? Based on the current amount of mana they had, they would need exactly Glimmer Post to punish you, right? The Yorion hand is good against Glimmer Post. Yeah, but we can do all this Yorion stuff upkeep and still beat Glimmer Post natural Ulamog or whatever, because we still have the Yorion in hand. We can do the same, it's the exact same play, but we Wisp upkeep instead of end step. Which is better against, like, some, I think it's better against, what, double Crop Rot, I guess? Because they need the single Crop Rot and then cast a big thing, and then Crop Rot for Glacial Chasm if they need it, or something like that. I think they just cast the Crop Rot UC if they have it, and lose the stage. Oh, and just get, like, 4 posts, and then, because that's the plan with I. 16 mana, play... tap for 16, tap this, they have 9 mana, then they can Ulamog you. Yeah. That makes sense. They actually have like 17 mana, yeah. That would make sense, but doesn't that mean that you don't know that you don't know that they don't have crop rotation until their upkeep, right? Because they don't have to pass priority. Like, you're in your end step first. Because you're the active player. I don't know if I understand the reason. So you can beat the... So you're saying you could beat the Crop Rot anyway, and the 2 mana could have mattered, so might as well deny the 2 mana that we know we're stopping by Wisping End Step, and try to beat the Crop Rot anyway. I maybe agree with that. I'm not sure. The Crop Rot kills you, and the 2 mana wasn't relevant. Okay, so you can just never. I'm not 100% sure you never beat Crop Rot End Step though. If you, like, I'm not sure that you never beat Crop Rot End Step if you Flicker was upkeep, is what I'm saying, I guess. Although, hang on, let's do some more math. Because if they do End Step Crop Rot, now suddenly they have 4 posts and a forest, right? Now your Flickerist looks weirder, because if you upkeep, or I guess at that point you would do an End Step, but that's not the point. Anytime post Crop Rot that they'd have post forest after Flicker Wisp, so they would need natural Ulamog. They have Glimmer Post. If they have Cloud Post, what happens? No, they can't. Yeah, no, they can't have Cloud Post. It's 4, 8, 12, 13 mana with a Cloud Post, which play I doesn't do it. If they have a Glimmer Post, they go up to 14 mana, right? 12, 13, 14. I down to 7. They have 7 left. 8, 9. Still doesn't cast Ulamog with Glimmer Post. I think Flicker's upkeep's better, but I'm not 100% locked into that. It's hard to say. It's definitely a complicated line, but I think we found the gist of the correct line, which the big thing is put Yorion in your hand and set up lethal. And then the timing of the flicker wisp is like pretty marginal percentage points, and I'm not sure which is correct. I don't know if you can be sure. The screenshot of their next turn. Oh, so there is. Oh, whoops. This is not where I saved the stuff, is it? Wait, where the fuck did I save the photo that I just had? Fuck me. I'm so bad at saving things. I saved it in downloads. Why the fuck would I do that? Deeply confused on where this fucking file exists. There it is. We found it. Alright. Resize. 50, 50. So what happened this turn? From last turn. Whoops, that's not last turn. This is last turn. So you wisped the stage end step. They have nothing new on the board besides a forest. They just played Chasm from hand, sacking the forest. That's interesting. I guess the plan was just a double cloud post. Like double activate stage on cloud posts and then like do the thing with the Eye of Ugin. That was probably their plan, so. So we have this board. They have Glacial Chasm. Jesus Christ. So we just have to obviously cast Yorion and say go, right? We can't attack and deal any damage. The question is, what are we targeting with three Flicker Wisps and a Recruiter of the Guard? I mean, I guess you just target.
Pairing received.
Oh man, my gut instinct is just hit 3 lands and recruit like a 4th Flicker Wisp. But I'm not sure. I haven't done the calculations on if we can beat like Chasm. Yeah, flickering a Wisp or flickering a Recruiter might be the play. I didn't like go through the lines here. But yeah, there's like a weird world that you need to like beat multiple stages on Chasm and stuff. I guess you have the other Wisp come into play, flicker the Chasm, they have to copy it, and then you have the 4th Wisp with the Recruiter. Then you just Wisp it again, but then they have another. I'll maybe talk about it more when. Really? Both the Elves players in the room? Alright, it's just not my day, I guess. That's the life we choose to live. Might be a short stream. We beat Elves, though, before, but this Elves player has a Cabal Pit in their sideboard. And, we'll probably play a little bit tighter. Can't believe we hit the only 2 Elves players in the entire event. Christ. Oh, Aaron Reynolds is waiting for me. Hello, friend. Oh, we won a die roll, chat! Oh, this hand fucking sucks. Alright, this hand's great. Why are you messaging me now, Aaron? We're in the match. I think we're just bottoming the Caracas here. Don't want to draw a second Caracas. We like our lands. There's a chance Caracas is better than Plains in a world that we have to get to, like, Yorions. It's definitely a keep. I think it's probably just better to bottom the Caracas, though. Maybe not. I'm trying to think of a world that we would need to get to Yorion, the Yorion Caracas stage. It's so unlikely to find more Caracases, and we already have 3 other lands, so maybe the upside's just there, and there's like very little downside. So let's just top deck Stoneforge Mystic, and then all the other plows in our deck, and those are the only cards we need. Oh, he's going to 5. Alright, we got a chance. We are alive. Field of Ruin's not, like, the best here, but it's definitely fine against a potential Cradle, especially because we're on the play. We'll have a little bit more time to shoot something. I might even end up, like, Field of Ruining a Dryad Arbor. What's Aaron playing? He's playing Reclaimer Elves. We got the only 2 Elves player. No, I think there are 3 Elves players. We're on 2 of the 3 Elves players in the room. So I'm likely just slamming Spirit over plowing anything here. Yeah, Birchlor's not super threatening. It's more threatening for, like, a Glimpse turn anyway. I don't think it will provide a lot in terms of, like, murdering me the next turn, so I think I'd rather just play my Spirit to the Lab. It's a little bit less mana efficient, right? Because we're going to have the Vial. But, like, I also don't know if I want to plow Birchlore versus something else. It'd be sad if we draw, like, exactly a 3-drop, and I don't even know how sad we'll be. Like, this following turn might even just be, like, Field of Ruin, Plow, which works out. They have 2 forests, which is important to note. So if they, like, fetch another forest here, well, then I guess we can't field them, but it means that the field can't find anything on their side. Really hoping he just has a Glimpse hand and we just fucking stone colded him. Oh, Jason hit Reaple Cheap. That matchup's gotta be... Is that matchup worse than Doomsday? Probably not. That matchup's probably better than Doomsday, just I think that deck has a higher fail rate. Interesting. Symbiote Go. Ooh, Skyclave. Just kind of a punish. But I think I'm happy applying the Symbiote. So... Are we like casting all of our spells and never using this Aether Vial? Plowing the Symbiote is the same as Skyclaving it, so I think we are. They can fetch Dryad Arbor, but they're still, like, fairly low on mana. There's a world where, if we play out Field of Ruin, then they just don't fetch out Dryad Arbor. Otherwise, this is the best world, is that we get to, like, Field of Ruin a Dryad Arbor and then plow the Symbiote. But I think we're just going to not show the field in hopes that they, like, fetch second forest. Since their black doesn't matter in game 1, they're more likely to fetch forests. Which means... Which means if they end up fetching double... I imagine this is going to fetch Dryad Arbor, but... There's a world in which my opponent gets 2 basic forests in play. Before I show them the Field of Ruin, and then I can shoot a non-basic. But next turn, if I have nothing better to do, I'll probably just end up Field of Ruining this Dryad Arbor. We will see. So this is kind of the position I wanted to keep the Caracas, just in case. The upside's so high, if this game goes on another, like, 3 turns, Yorion, Vylon 5, Skyclave might actually just be, like, the way we win. Like, there's such a low chance we ever find another... We draw a second Caracas and it ends up, like, mattering a ton. Because we had a bunch of lands anyway. Like, he's watching 3 different streams and they're all matches against elves. They're the only 3 elves players in the room, right? I think there are only 3. There's Aaron, there's Newton, and then there was one other person, I think. Juice Master W. The actual only 3 elves players. I've hit 2 of them. I bet that last guy's not even on Reclaimer elves, right? It's probably just like a... Yeah, it's the normal Nettle Sentinel builds. What's happening over here? 2 Burst Lords, alright. Probably not plowing those. Uh-oh. Well, now we can Field Ruin if we're not dead. But this might just be NO kill me. This looks like just NO kill me. No, this is Green Sun for Grist. That's pretty bad for me. Minus it immediately, maybe? Yeah. Yeah, this makes sense. It's a really shitty line, but I think I have to take it. We'll see what we draw, but... Let's just draw, like, Flicker Wisp or something. Please. Nope. I think I have to Field Ruin the Dryad Arbor and plow the Illusion token to kill the Grist here. It's, like, really, really shitty. But I think it's, like, the only way I win this game. I don't think I get to, like, let this Grist stay around. Really could have used, like, Flicker Wisp or Recruiter or... like, Stoneforge Mystic, even. Because then we could have, like... Oh, no, we took the Valp 3. Stoneforge Mystic would not have been a productive draw. They have 1 card in hand, so I think I just have to spew the Field of Ruin and everything. Sucks that I can't hit this Cradle. I have to spew the Plow and spew the Field of Ruin. It's so bad. This file's going all the way up to 5. Yeesh. That doesn't really do anything. It's just like a big dude. I think this vial is pretty easily going up to 5. If I draw a Recruiter here, I think I'm just going to recruit Stoneforge anyway. Does this Reclaimer even do anything? Because they already have a Cradle? No. It just can thin their deck and be a big idiot. Sick. I'm gonna pit. They don't have pit main deck. Which is, I guess, something that I know and you guys don't. But looking at their deck list, they do not have a main deck Cabal Pit. So for now, we are still alive. All right. Everything's going great. Well. How's my cat doing? Pretty good. She's in the other room right now. Yep, just activate Reclaimer, get a fetch land, and fetch, probably. Try to draw relevant cards. Not even fetching. Sure. Guess the thinning's not super important, but the activating Reclaimer is literally free. Are we dead? No, we're not dead yet. It's a pretty scary one, though. It's a lot of looks at scary magic cards. Just find something not scary. Like an Elvish Visionary. At least once upon a time can't hit Natural Order or Green Sun Zenith. Those are like two of the best cards for them to find here. That one's really fucking scary. Yeesh. That's not a natural Jite, huh? Would have taken a Solitude. Solitude would have been an exceptional draw. Everything's bad. Moxel redeeming talk trash about Luminarch Aspirant. Imagine if I top decked Luminarch Aspirant this turn. Would have been so good. Oh, wait, shit. Yorion would be a 5/6 that could block a thing. Never mind. Never mind. Luminarch Aspirant would have been better than some draw steps this turn. I take it back. So there's no point in not attacking, right? Because I can just pick up... No, because it's fogged, right? Wait, no, it fogs everything. Block, block, block. Pick up Yorion, violate back Yorion, flicker my board. Yeah, so attacking's really bad. Never mind. Luminarch Aspirant sucks. Mom's way better. Because getting this Mom online is actually extremely helpful. After exactly this turn in terms of not dying. Kill the Foothills, get another fetch or whatever. There's a chance I don't want to flicker the Spirit. It has to be top deck exactly Visionary to punish me, though, for gaining 5 life. We'll see if they even attack. If we played nicer planes, we wouldn't draw so many. No, I wouldn't have drawn enough. I would have drawn like 3 Caracases. I think I just have to flicker my whole board. I don't think I get to like the luxury of playing around exactly Elvish Visionary here. So block, block, block. Pick up Yorion, Violin Yorion, flicker my things. I guess, yeah, that's fine. Doesn't matter what blocks what. This is a forced pump. These things don't get trampled, right? Yeah, nice. I'll take a Solitude here. Solitude would be a real banger of a draw. Recruiter of the Guard. Skyclave Apparition. Stoneforge Mystic. Oh, GT. All right, I'll take that. I will take that one. I think I'm supposed to attack with Spirit there too, actually. I think I'm supposed to just... So, obviously, kill this Shepherd. And then I think I'm supposed to kill Heritage Druid. I think that's better than killing Arbor. Called it Natural GTA a turn later. Yes, Natural GTA was called. You were just too slow for me to draw it that turn. So I drew it into the following turn. I appreciate you, Martyr. By the time you had typed it, the Moto gods had already put a Plains on the top of my deck. But they took that into account and put the GTA underneath it. And for that, I thank you for your service. Imagine elves not having Eno every single time. Yeah, exactly. I think this was what I did last time. Looks about right. Yeah, this looks correct. Alright, let's see what the differences are. The differences is way fucking harder to Peacekeeper lock. Nigh impossible, because Cabal Pit exists. But also just because they have a split of Abrupt Decays and Fatal Pushes. But it also means that they're a lot softer to just... like a GTA or something, because they're actually really bad at killing it. They have no Reclamation Sage, and 2 Abrupt Decays is their only ways to, like, shatter. And then obviously the Oof, but Oof's, like, not very threatening. So GTA by itself is a lot more impactful. And we can't really lean on, Spirit or Containment Priest or Peacekeeper as much, even like backed up by a Mom, because Cabal Pit exists. Obviously, we can still lean on it a certain amount of time. Has Timeless Dragon come up yet in your games? The only time it has come up so far is when we put it into play off a Show and Tell, and almost won with it. But our opponent top decked Grizzlebrand and Emrakul. But it was really good putting it off Show and Tell, because it's by far the biggest thing we could have put in to beat the shit out of our opponent with. Besides, I guess, Caldra. How's Cathar Commando been? It would have been good against Sneak, but we never saw it. And then we drew it against Elves and pitched into Solitude. Our matches today have been Elves, Sneak, and Show Elves, so... we haven't had a lot of time to explore our cool fringe options, because I don't exactly build to beat Elves. Alright, Snapkeep. The Solitude's a little bit awkward, but, like, it's hard to pass up turn 2 Spirit, Mana Denial, and, like, the ability to plow something down the line. I think this is a keep. I don't think it's getting better. Forest, Reclaimer, white card, white card, white card. Oh, not a white card, but I'll take it. I don't think I'm supposed to Solitude this pitching my Spirit. Cradle is scary, but... I think I'll be more or less happy with turn 2 Spirit, turn 3, potentially pick up Yorion and use it for Solitude. Yeah, Cage was probably the best non-white draw spell. Non-white top deck there. Not 100% positive. Green Sun for 1? No, Visionary. Ooh, Recruiter's sick too. I don't really want to pitch that either. Don't really know what I want to do here. This is weird. So we'll have Cage plus Spirit, so we'll have at least a little bit of insulation for most of their busted stuff for now. So I think we just spend this time. I think I'm just gonna go port Spirit and see. Like, this is an opening to kill the Reclaimer before, but I think I'd rather next turn recruit a bad white card and Solitude there, so I have Recruiter in play for Yorion, if that's something that I want to do. Notably, like I was talking about the GT being a lot better, Cage is also a lot better because it's really hard for them to kill it with their current deck configuration. Because they only have 2 Abrupt Decays. Usually they're on like 3 to 4, but they've decided to split with like Fatal Push instead. Oh, it's a lot of scary stuff going on. I guess I shouldn't have F6 because I could Solitude something if I wanted to. 2 Reclaimers means I'm probably not Solituding Reclaimer anymore. If that's your attack, I feel like you gotta send the Visionary too. Why would you hold the Visionary back? Like, I'm not blocking the Visionary. Mangara Caracas. I think we have better things to do with our mana right now. Mangara might actually be the Solitude pitch card. Like, recruiting a much better card is maybe the play. So we gotta think about this here. So what's gonna happen? Our opponent has access to 2 mana. Technically 3 mana, but 2 mana if they want to activate Reclaimer. So they're gonna grab a Gaia's Cradle. I think we can like play not to lose and put a Wasteland or whatever out there instead, or like port the Cradle when they untap with it. But the only way the Cradle kills us is Allosaurus Shepherd or Natural Hoof, right? But is there like a better path to victory here? What would we be recruiting for that gets us there faster? Can we afford to Mangara? And Mangara plus, like, actually Mangara plus Caracas? I don't think so. What's their path to victory? Cast stuff. Cast their scary cards from hand. Which... yeah, I mean, we could vote for Mangara plus Caracas. I'm just trying to think about what's our best path to victory. So we recruit her for something to do the following turn. Grist might be the best. Can you grist through a cage? I don't think you can, right? Because it says creature cards in libraries can't enter the battlefield, right? And it's a creature card in the library. It's different than Containment Priest that says if a creature would enter the battlefield and it wasn't cast. I think, yeah, I think cage stops grist. Yeah, Mangara might actually be one of the reasonable lines. At what point can we go for Recruiter plus Peacekeeper? Not when there are 2 Reclaimers in play and they could easily, like, fuel up to Cabal Pit. I don't think. We would want the Cabal Pit to be answered first. 13 minutes, it's fine. Maybe it is just Mangara. Just kill 1 creature every turn for the rest of the game. Am I solituding something right now? I could also Solitude in response to a fetch land and not let them activate the Reclaimer this turn. Wait, is that cracked? Solitude this Reclaimer in response to the fetch land, so they don't get the Cradle this turn. The following turn, I can Mangara the other thing and then Wasteland the Cradle. Wait, am I a genius? Goodbye, Recruiter of the Guard. I wonder if this was better than casting Recruiter and pitching the... Oh, fuck, I'm not a genius. There's a Heritage Druid. I was thinking about the Birchlaw Rangers. I think this might have been... Like, this was my plan anyway, but, like, let them have the Cradle. But this is obviously worse now. They also have once. That's kind of bad for me. This is better than, like, recruiting Skyclave. I think it might actually be worse. Or it might be actually better. Just our ability to Mangara for a Skyclave every turn, essentially. Wirewood's obnoxious. Wirewood's actually really obnoxious. Because my plan was just knock out the Reclaimer and then waste the Cradle this turn. Yeah, we can take some pock shots here. It's fine. I think they just don't have anything. 5, 6. Or else they would have just, like, cast anything there, right? They just have, like, shitters. Yeah, means we want a creature with more than 1 toughness in play. Certainly. Too much time to find Shep and kill us. Yeah, but my initial plan was just knock out the Reclaimers and kill the Cradle so they can't just shepherd us. But it's possible that we're just going to die to some idiot beats because of the symbiote. The bleeding gets stemmed a lot if we could have killed the Reclaimer this turn. Activate Reclaimer. It's free. Could Wasteland the Cradle now, though. But then they can go get another Cradle the following turn. And that means we can't replay Mangara. 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go to 6. But then after that, we can kill the Reclaimer. Then we're pretty close to stabilizing. So yeah, the Mangara play might have just been too inefficient against idiot beats. We wanted to get Skyclave, something with just like more than 1 toughness that can just like block 1/1s. Oh, well, we can always do that. So is the play Skyclave? Well, Recruit for Stoneforge like didn't affect the board at all this turn. Also, when I ended up locking in the line, I forgot about the Heritage Druid and zoned in on the Birchlaw Rangers and the ability to cut off the Reclaimer this turn, which was definitely a misplay. Thinking about that more, the Recruiter line's a little bit better because we can't stop a Cradle from entering the battlefield. But that wasn't on my radar at the time. We could just ditch the Mangara now if we want. If we want to Wasteland them, we could Mangara the Symbiote, Skyclave the Reclaimer, and Wasteland the Cradle. I don't know if we can... Yeah, Skyclave, we definitely need Skyclave in play. So is it an issue of, like, is Kroxing our Mangara more important than Wastelanding this Cradle this turn? They do just have 900 mana, right, and 1 card in hand. So I think we just let them have the Cradle and get more things into play. I also think I might just wait until blocks to use the Mangara Caracas. Because, like, this Reclaimer on tapping doesn't matter. It lets me block another thing and then, like, fog more damage. Yeah. Yeah, this stops their aggression a lot. The next turn we can recast Mangara. Yeah, they just don't have good attacks here. Sure, it's in the deck. Oh yeah, I forgot there's a Cabal Pit. Oh, we can just Wasteland the Cabal Pit now. It's probably better than Wastelanding the Cradle. Oh, whoa. 5 mana. We can't GTA this turn, but Stoneforge is getting Stoneforge online is just infinitely better than getting Mangara back online. So now we just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Wasteland, the Pit, port the Cradle, and Stoneforge for Jite. So then we just equip to the Stoneforge and attack with it. Is this game 3? No, it's game 2. Oh, That puts a wrinkle in the plans, huh? Can we equip to Skyclave attack and just trade with the Reclaimer? Is that good enough? Oh, well, that answers that. We're just going to cast Mangara. We could Wisp instead. Wisp, Flicker, Skyclave, gets a flyer into play. Yeah, that's way better. Kills the oof. This cage has somehow done nothing. This game's actually insane. I think it stopped like Dryad Arbors from being in play, which is like maybe relevant. I forget if they cast any Green Suns though, because they would have shuffled in. We played Cage turn 1. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, Cage wasn't play the whole game, so yeah, they didn't. They just had no. They had no Green Sun. Yeah, they were hellbent. So they maybe if they top decked Green Sun or Eno that exact turn, then the Cage did something. But yeah, Spirit didn't. Spirit. Yeah, they played a. No, they missed one card off Visionary. They had a turn where they had Symbiote plus Visionary and picked up the Visionary and replayed it, but Spirit denied one card draw. But they played the Visionary on turn 2 and drew before I played Spirit. But it could have denied a second card as well, because I think when I killed the Symbiote, they could have picked the Visionary back up another time. So Spirit did work. But yeah. Cage literally stopped nothing besides, like, some Dryad Arbors from being in play. The old 2-0-4-0 against Elves. When you take cards and you just draw the exact cards you need. Yeah, our top decks were real hot that game. Hang on, let's go back. Can we go back and look at that game now that we have infinite time? I want to see what I want to talk through what the play was on that game too. The play that was like very clearly not Mangara after I did it. Blah, blah, blah. Top deck Cage that ends up not doing anything. They do this, blah, 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 blah. We play Spirit. Wow, it was on turn 3 that all this shit happened? Alright, so this was the turn. Is Mangara the tech we needed to beat Elves? Yeah, we're about to break down why playing Mangara here was actually just, like, super heinous, probably. So this was the turn that I was looking at this Birchlore Rangers and thinking, okay, they have 4 elves untapped, so they can make 2 mana here, but they have to tap another Reclaimer to do it. So after they fetch, they'll only have access to 1 mana. But I was very just like tunnel vision on the Birchlore Rangers and didn't think about the Heritage Druid. They can just make 3 mana here and activate Reclaimer. And like it doesn't fucking matter. Which is why I was like, okay, I like this line a lot more because it denies the Cradle this turn because we Soldier the Reclaimer, and then we'll have Mangara in play and this Wasteland, so we can just kill the Reclaimer, they go get Cradle, then we Wasteland the Cradle, and then everybody's happy. That was the line in theory, which is maybe even still worse, because I could have done that with Recruiter Skyclave. And Mangara's just going to be like too fucking slow on this board. And something that I'm not 100% taking into account is just like actual idiot beats. I just have a bunch of things with 1 toughness that I don't want to block with. So my opponent like untapped and attacked me for like 6 this turn, which is starting to get very scary. But then we top decked Skyclave anyway. We top decked Skyclave this turn anyway, which was amazing. But that's the thing, is that if we just had Recruiter to play to Skyclave next turn, it just would have looked a lot better. Notably, it wouldn't have looked better because we drew Skyclave. That let us use Mangara and Skyclave that turn, which let us beat the Symbiote plus Reclaimer. So we just got like obscenely lucky and rewarded for playing Mangara. But I think it's correct to play out Recruiter. And then like, do we even Solitude that turn? I guess we probably end up having to Solitude Reclaimer because if we don't, they just attack me for 9, and that's just a lot. So we just like Solitude, pitch Mangara, hit a Reclaimer with the plan of Skyclave the second Reclaimer. So I stopped getting just like the shit kicked out of me. Then they top decked Symbiote, and it would have looked a lot more awkward because I would have to Skyclave the Symbiote. But I still stem a lot of the bleeding at that point. I take 6 go to 13, and then once I have a 2/2 in play, they can only really attack with the Reclaimer. I guess at that point they might be able to go get Cabal Pit and try that. But that gives us time. We have a Recruiter and a Skyclave in play, and we can like pop Yorion into our hand to try to like get that stuff online. So I'm pretty sure the Recruiter play is just way, way, way better. I tunneled on the Mangara line specifically because I didn't think about the onboard Heritage Druid. So I liked the line of having a repeatable, like, just kill spell every turn after turn 3, just, like, machine gunning one thing down a turn. They had 2 cards in hand, so, like, we have some time. But yeah, I think Recruiter Skyclave is the play here. Anyway, fun little thought exercise. Speaking of thought exercises, I gotta figure out what Luinel's line this turn was. I think he said what his line was, but I've forgotten. I think it was Wisp 2 lands and a Wisp. So you play Yorion, Wisp your whole board by minus Thalia. Wisp, 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 Recruiter trigger, Recruiter grabs Wisp. Wisps target the Cloud Posts. They can copy the Cloud Posts, but then they only have 4 mana here on untap, and they're under Glacial Chasm. And then the Wisp comes in end step, targets the Glacial Chasm. We have a Wisp in our hand. These Cloud Posts come in tapped. They have 2 Cloud Post stages. So they can only actually activate 1 unless they have like... Yeah, they can only activate 1. So yeah, I think just getting Wisp and flickering a Wisp wins here. And just flickering 2 lands. Flicker, post, Wisp, and recruit for another Wisp. Or a Skyclave, if you're so inclined. You can, like, Skyclave the Needle and use Wasteland, stuff like that, too. Kind of funny that we needed both the Skyclave and the Mangara. Yeah, we got supremely rewarded for our, like, super greedy Mangara play. Because they had Symbiote, so we needed to have 2 removal spells in the same turn to stop them from activating, using Reclaimer a bunch. Also, I think I was supposed to... was on turn 4 or something there. Did I said go instead of Mongaraing the Reclaimer immediately, which was bad because they had access to Cabal Pit, which I didn't think about. So I should have just killed the Reclaimer immediately so they couldn't go get a Cabal Pit. But we had a Wasteland for a Cabal Pit anyway. But I would have rather just Wasteland like the Cradle that turn too. How many rounds are still going? I might go get some water. Also, is Max winning? I need Max to top 8 so my joke's funnier. Yes, Max is 3-0. Let's go. Oh, also only 2 rounds left. Connor and Jason's still playing. Jason is somehow still alive versus Curses. Would have expected that match to have ended by now. Who's in the 2-1 bracket with me? I don't actually know. I think Connor and Tim are 1-1. Jarvis is Jarvis 2-1 or 3-0 now? Jarvis was 2-0, so now he's 3-0. So I'm still in the Elves bracket. There's a 2-1 Elves player. Fuck. Oh, I can just do that and figure it out too. Wait, no, he's 1-2. Did he get a pair down? Oh, he did get a pair down. Jarvis is 3-0, but this guy's now 1-2. Nice. Never mind. We're out of the Elves bracket. We did it. If are we out of the Tony bracket? Yes, we're out of the Tony bracket. What other brackets do we want to be out of? We want to be out of this bracket, which we're not. That's mostly it. What's Jeskai Belcher? This is just Blue Eye Red Saga. Alright, I'm gonna go get some water. And I'll be right back. Ugh. Even if we lose next round, we 2-0'd Elves twice, so like that's basically a tournament win for D&T. I have returned with water and snacks because I guess I did eat breakfast. That was like 4 or 5 hours ago. Who is still playing? How's Jason faring? Let's find out. Wait, was Jason 2-0? He managed to beat... Yeah, he got the bye round 1, essentially. His opponent didn't show up or something conceded to him. He's still in a match against Reaplecheap. I can't imagine that matchup is good at all. Oh, he's actually... Whoa, is he going to win? What's happening? Reaple's hand is so bad. And he has a Yorion, and Jason has a Yorion holding a fucking Sword of Fire and Ice. This port, too. Doesn't have enough mana for that, right? Yeah, that thing costs like 1,000 mana. Holy shit. Luno beating curses. Incredible. Honorog is hosting. I think they're cycling out a couple of commentators, because I think last time it was like Honorog and Skinnick the whole time. And they were like super beat by the end of it. So I think they're probably cycling out some number of commentators instead. That would be my assumption, at least. He just didn't want to commentate the D&T match? Yeah, probably. Incredible. Like, D&T... I mean, me and Jason are, like, really good D&T players, but... beating two Elves players, and then Luinil beating... Tony on post, and then beating Curses, too, is just, like... Just like the sickest runs. So, how many people are going to be left? So everyone after Jarvis is X and O. So all these people are alive. So 1, 2, wait. Yeah, wait until, so if you get the buy, you're automatically alive still. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people. And then half of these. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 or something, I think. There's only one more match going. Connor versus Tim. Anyway, I'm going to take a little break here. Feel free to... What is this shit? Would you rather? This is actually kind of funny. You have to exert your DRS to make mana, or at beginning of your upkeep you have sack an island. It's very... I think it's very easily the one on the right. Well, I guess I can vote in this, huh? Easy right. It's so easy right. Unless you, like, want to have a playable card outside of, like, Jund or whatever. You get, like, DRS Jund and that's it. Like, you can't just, like, play this in blue decks and not fetch Island. Yeah, Arog's right. You get to define would you rather. Like, I would rather this card because it's, like, far less playable. I don't know how playable this is. I'm not sure. I'm not good at assessing how good Deathrite Shaman is if you have to exert it. Would elves play it? Oh yeah, elves would absolutely play it. It's just Deathrite Shaman, right? I assume. Yes. The rest of the lines of text are unchanged. So yeah, elves would play Deathrite Shaman, like Jund would play Deathrite Shaman or whatever. And it just like blue decks don't get to play it. The Exert version is certainly more balanced. This card's just like really stupid. Really, really stupidly designed. I'm just a big fan of cards that like however ham-fisted they may be, is just like cards that provide more for the format in non-blue shells. Which is just like, obviously, if you have to sack an island every turn, the card's a lot worse than in blue shells. But in terms of like trying to effectively balance Deathrite Shaman as like a reasonable Magic card, more obvious, the left side is. I don't know how to assess it. I think it. I don't. Yeah, I genuinely don't know how playable Exert Deathrite Shaman would be. I feel like it would still be playable. I should update my title. I always forget to update my title when I win, and just always remember when I lose. Alright, I'm bored. I thought it was going to cycle through like more cards, but no, we're just still looking at this Deathrite Shaman. Is everyone done? Yes, looks like we're just waiting on the next round. Yeah, it looks like the next round is showing up at some point. I'll put myself on mute here. Alright, feature matches are going up, and they're not me, which is great. I hate being a feature match, it makes me so stressed. Also makes sense. I have a loss. And they just had TNT on camera last round. Yeah, feature matches are going up, so... Oh, is it the lands mirror? I guess spoilers. I don't think they're starting yet. Yeah, they're not. Can't believe they have this on the slide deck. I guess you can't take it out. Like, easily behind the scenes. Mono weight control. Come on. Isn't streaming always on feature match? Yeah, I don't know why I don't like being on feature match more than I don't like streaming. I couldn't tell. I don't have a good answer for that. Wish my elves matches were on feature, though. Would have been sick. Now I just get to wait for the next round to actually start. Square root number of players round up equals number of rounds. Is that how double elim works? That I don't think that. And then +1 because it's double, not single elim. Is that really how that works? 38 people would be 7 rounds, and then 8. I think that sounds about right. I think last time it was like 8 or 9 rounds. And it's possible you can have another round because like the undefeated can lose to the 1 loss in the final round, and then they have to like play again. It's interesting if that math works. I can't logic it out because I'm not a math guy. But, I mean, it sounds like it makes sense. So, 5 3-0s, huh? So, is Jason get the pair down? The feature matches are Jarvis, Tim. No, wait, did Jarvis get the pair down again? There's no Tim in the top. But there was another Tim play. There's like lands Tim, right? Yeah. And then Pemmin versus Winged Hussar. Wait, is this Winged Hussar? Wait, no. I know Winged Hussar's no, Winged Hussar's not the Doomsday player. I was thinking someone else. Looks like there's just a 2-1 then, because this is Pemmin, right? Probably. And then Winged Hussar's here, yeah. Guess we're not. I guess you don't. Yeah, I guess you don't have to feature the 3-0s necessarily in a double elim event because like anyone who's playing is live to win.
Pairing received.
Yeah, you usually just follow like undefeateds for a lot of the early rounds of Swiss events because those are the people that you're probably like more likely to see in top 8 or something like that. But anyone with less than 2 losses is live because that makes feature matching kind of more interesting. Anyway, new pairings received. We're playing against... Oh, Green White Depth. Wait. No. This is the Maverick player? This is the Maverick player. That's much better for me, I think. I'm not actually sure. Yeah, this matchup looks pretty good for me, based on the collection of cards in their deck. Alright, let's get to it. Round 4. Oh, we won the die roll. Let's go. Alright, this hand's a little bit more mediocre knowing they're on Maverick, right? Because the Spirit's a lot worse, but like Vile Plow, Wisp. Just makes this hand good enough. I think the Maverick matchup is better than the Green-White Depths matchup because it plays out a lot like Green-White Depths, except you don't have to navigate, like, getting 20-20'd. Like, there's similar amounts of card advantage in both Green-White Depths and Maverick. Stoneforge is a little bit of a hiccup. My opponent's 1-5, though. So we're sitting pretty good for this. I guess we mulled to 6, but it's a really good 6. And it's not like Spirit has absolutely no text. It's still a 3-1. It attacks. It holds equipment. It turns off Sylvan Library that I don't think they have in their deck. Scrubland go, huh? What's the matchup? It's Maverick. Black Splash Maverick. Alright, well. Kill that. Next turn we'll play a pair of Spirits of the Labyrinth. I guess I shouldn't yield. Don't give them information. Yeah, I'm just gonna go Spirit, go. Make some 3-1s. Get my beatdowns on. Alright, well. I think, yeah, Spirit go's gotta be better than putting Yorion in my hand. I just, like, want to attack. It makes them think about better, too, like, if I have, like, Stoneforge, something like that. Ending the Vial? That's fine with me. Cast a 2-drop? Aren't that many in their deck. Stoneforge would be pretty obnoxious here. Teague, deal. Oh. Absolute deal. You can have your Teague back. I think I'm just gonna Flicker Wisp here to just beat them down. I just want to get super aggressive here and kill them. Like, the Flickers isn't doing that much else because our Vial's gone. Maverick notoriously bad at dealing with flyers. Like, we could have picked up Yorion instead and, like, had the ability to cast Yorion the following turn, but they have Caracas, so Yorion can't really beat down. Also, we just get to bounce this Teague. You can have that Teague back. They have a Dryad Arbor. No, they don't. I think I'm going to Solitude a Dryad Arbor here. They take 9. They take 8. Essentially go to 5. Yeah. Whoa. I guess I'm not going to Solitude a Dryad Arbor. Interesting choice. They had a white source already. It's kind of weird. Oh, 2 plows. Okay. If that's the case, I'm going to put Yorion in my hand here. I think. They have one card in hand and it's Teague. And I don't want to Solitude the Teague, obviously. We're no longer, like, really in a super racing scenario. Replay the Teague. Sure. You can have that back. Hey, EAJTV, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. There's still nothing to Solitude, so I'm just gonna cast more shit. Official GDK, thanks for the Twitch Prime sub. Appreciate your support. Yeah, they're drawing lands. Watch your clip with Jarvis, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, I always have fun on Jarvis's streams. Yeah, my opponent is like heinously dead here. You can have that Teague back. Oh, jeez. Alright, yeah, they're incredibly dead. Here for the aspirant appreciation talks. You may need to inquire elsewhere. Yeah, alright, cool, they're dead. Alright, we got there. Pretty nice. So the sideboard for Maverick is a little bit lacking because we want to cut all our Thalias and all our Spirits and this Prelate, but obviously we can't do that. So everything on the list tonight. Going to a tournament tomorrow and thought about bringing D&T. I think the only difference between my list and the list that Jarvis is playing is that I'm playing a Mangara, but I'm only playing a Mangara because I committed to it like 2 months ago. I do not recommend that people play this normally unless you just like enjoy Mangara and want to have fun. I like the double Cathar Commando list. It seemed pretty reasonable. I think our sideboards were almost the same as well. So what are we expecting our opponent to have? And by expecting, I mean knowing our opponent has. Collector Oof, Plague Engineer, Court of Grace, 3 Courts of Grace. Sheesh. It's a lot of Courts of Grace. It's like kind of scary. Maybe that means that Spirits are fine to leave in. Thalia Prelate, obviously pretty bad. It's just like, it's a matter of like if you want Cage or Rip over some of these cards, which I don't think you do. I think this is fine. So, could maybe be convinced of Cage. Cage stops Green Sun. Rip only makes Knight smaller. And Ramanap Excavator, which probably comes in just because these are long matchups. Mangara's been so good today. Mangara's been great for us. Blake's Masked Vandal thrown it. They are not on any Masked Vandal, but it's a good thing to know about, to think about as well. They're not on Masked Vandal. I think I'm okay with this. It's always like fine as a 2-of. You can pitch them to Solitudes. They do like sometimes clog up. They're boarding into 3 Court of Grace, and they are a like 3 Prismatic Ending, 4 Plow, 4 Greens on Zenith deck still. It holds equipment. It's like the D&T matchup. You're not excited about it, but just like it's a card that has text. We beat our opponent down with 3 Spirit of the Labyrinths last game. So I think I'm okay submitting this AD. There's a chance that Cage is better than the second Thalia. Just because Green Sun's kind of a scary card. Knight of the Reliquary is not very scary, so I'm like not super in for Rip. But Cage is maybe more worth it. Sheesh. It's a little awkward, but I think it's still a keep. They have Wastelands, and Sneaky Batterskull could be nice. And, like, Solitude and Skyglade were both excellent cards in this matchup. This is a Mother of Runes. It's a little ugly for me. It's not. It's another land, which is nice. We might end up having to Solitude. Actually, I don't really care that much about Knight next turn. I'm just gonna like Wasteland Solitude. That seems extremely aggro, though. We'll just play our land, take our draw steps. We could draw like a better pitch card for the Solitude if we want to kill a knight. We can also just let them untap with a knight for a turn. It's not like Green-White Depths, where it's like a huge disaster. How much of a disaster is that? We do have Skyclave, so it's not like the end of the world. It does mean that I don't think I want to play a creature. Because I just don't want to give... Hey, we drew a Solitude Fodder card. A friend of mine told me never kill the mana dork, just kill the payoff. It's very contradictory to what you would think about like the Bolt the Bird, but I am of the strong opinion against Maverick specifically that it is correct to not Bolt the Bird. As D&T specifically. I've thought that way for a while now. That I think it's correct to wait for their payoffs and kill those instead. Wondering if playing the Stoneforge here is worth it. Would they sack an insect to kill my 1-2 if I grab Jite here? Feels like they wouldn't. They would just want to keep getting 1/1s. And if they do, I don't think it's the end of the world either. I think I am supposed to just play this get Jite. One of the things is I am a little bit scared of them just windmill slamming Court of Grace next turn, so I want like some semblance of like things on board. Thought sees me. Ugh, that's gross, because now they can take the Skyclave, and they know about Batterskull. So now they can, like, pop this... They can take the Skyclave and, like, pop the Stoneforge. That's pretty gross. There's nothing I can do about that. They might not bring in Quarter Grace. They have enough bad cards that they probably just have to bring it in. Like, cutting the Thalias and the Teagues and all, like, the anti, like, blue stuff. I would bring in Quarter Grace if I were with them. It is bad in a lot of spots, but also as the mana dork deck, you can't just accelerate it out before, like right now, in instances like the current board state. Yep. This is what we expected. Rather unfortunate. But such is our life. That Thoughtseize was pretty brutal. Can we just draw Skyclave? That'd be nice. That's not a Skyclave. Feels like this Grist is going to take over this game pretty badly for me. I also can't Solitude this Mom and play a creature to put the Jite on. I think I have to Solitude this Mom, though. Otherwise, I'm not doing anything else. I'm going to cut them off black, I think. They have 4 basics, but this takes them off of black for like more Thoughtseizes or Engineers. And we can just use Field of Ruin this turn because we're not casting anything else. I guess I could cast Jite here, or put Yorion in my hand. Both of which are like pretty unexciting. I definitely don't want to Wasteland here because I want to start hitting land drops and like end step a Solitude. Oh no, the Solitude's dying. Right, I'm going to cast this so I stop thinking about it. Am I? What if I just play Spirit here and just play Flash and Solitude on their end step? I have Yorion in my hand or something. 5 lands, Flash and Solitude, untap, play Yorion Solitude. Something like that. This Grist is just going to go way too crazy before then. I think I just need to draw some stuff, which means I need to kill this Mom. You draw like Recruiter or Skyclave or Mangara, I guess, would be pretty good. Because we have Crocus to protect it. I think fielding them is better than putting Yorion in hand right now. Because we're not playing Yorion until like 6 mana anyway to protect it with Caracas. This will cut them off of Thoughtseize, or... Maybe this was wrong. Maybe I should put Yori in my hand, because the following... Next turn I could, like, just field plus Chite. Whereas I can't. Because I waste the mana here, right? I could have done my 3 mana play and then 2 mana plays the following turn. Alright, yeah, I think we should just concede. Save ourselves some time here. Yeah. Well, there's always game 3. Yeah, that Thoughtseize was so brutal. I think that we are very live to win that game if we don't get Thoughtseized. I'll hit submit again. Alright, that sounds great. What did we lose to tonight? We lost to Sneak and Show. We beat Elves twice. Sounds great. A little bit landlight, awkward if our Vial gets hit, but... And Hand has a bunch of great cards, not gonna say no to it. Easy Prelate on 4 game. I think we boarded the Prelate out. But maybe the Prelate's better than Athalia because Court of Grace is so scary. On the play, Court of Grace is less scary because you can get on the front foot a lot better. The normal record of beating Elves twice, no biggie. I kind of want to Wasteland this Bayou. Is that insane? We have Vial going. Like, if this was a Plow, I might actually... This might be like a Wasteland plus Plow turn. But being a Solitude, I think it's a lot worse. But I am kind of keen on making them skip the 3 mana turn. Maverick's really bad at 2 mana plays. And, like, we have this Vial ticking up. If I had a bad card to pitch to the Solitude, I might also Solitude this Noble. But I think our Mom and our Recruiter are both very good cards. Green Sun for Arbor? Sure. Do you have a removal spell? Best draw on our deck's probably Rashadenport. Plow? Sure. That's kind of a scary draw. Hoping they can't answer our Aether Vial or play something super flashy this following turn. This is the one, the danger of activating Wasteland is our hand is very 3-drop heavy. But because they were 3-drop heavy, that's why I wanted to Wasteland to begin with. What is this? Reason for 1? You're not gonna, like, Collector Oof the guy that just missed their land drop? Sure. They just don't have any more mana? Yeah. Let's draw a land. Really want to draw land so I can, like, recruit Skyclave and Skyclave one of their mana dorks. Oh, wait. Recruit Wisp, Solitude, Pitching, Recruiter, hit a thing, Violin, Wisp, target Solitude, hit another thing? Just, like, KO them? Yeah, I am also a big fan of sending my opponent to the Shadow Realm. Oh no, they have Plow! I didn't think about this. Maybe this was greedy as fuck. I think the Bird's a better target. Yeah, I didn't think about Plow. I totally thought they were like tapped out. But yeah, Bird's a better target because it'll cut the black off, which is kind of scary because they have engineers in their sideboard. And we still have like play Sword of Fire and Ice. Also tick up Vial to Yorion. Uh-oh, 4 mana, which was their flashpoint. But now we're in a much better spot against Court, right? Yeah, it's still like a 2 for 1, right? Or a 3 for 2? No, I think it was a 2 for 2. Yeah, it's not the end of the world. We shoot through a Plow as well. That's a scary card. How do I beat that one? I'm a turn away from beating that with any of my stuff currently, right? Oh, this is bad. That GTA is extremely scary. Yeah, the big problem was that I had to spew a Recruiter, and Recruiter is like one of the best cards in this matchup. Now I'm thinking about how do I win. Can I afford to leave this Vial on 3? And hope to top deck something? Or do I just, like, lose my board? Just trade Wisp for Noble and just try to take over with Sword and Yorion? That might actually be able to do it. I think I just have to take the Vial up. Yeah, draw Commando. And if I actually draw a 3-drop, most of them are still good here if I have the Vial on 4. Like Wisp, I can Wisp to stop the GTA. Skyclave I can just cast. The only one I punish just me is like another Recruiter. So I think I'm supposed to tick up here. Yeah. So 1-2 on attacking, so I just have to block basically. Play Sword out here, because if I draw a land, I can equip the Sword. No, I don't need to draw land. Oh no, I can equip the Sword and like I have to pick up Yorion. I probably wouldn't equip the Sword anyway, because I have Caracas, but... Man, I really wish this was a GTA, huh? I think this attack is free. Yeah, it sucks that we're going to get our entire board wrathed. But then we'll have Yorion. Yep. Three cards in hand, huh? Two mana. Equip, sure. One of our best draw stuff here is like Mother of Runes. Oh, is this ending my Vial? Are you kidding me? Ugh, that's so gross. And we draw a Caracas, Jesus. We could beat a Plow. We were fine there because we had Caracas. The ending on the Vial is disgusting, though. Jeez, that's brutal. Yeah, I think I punted. I think the Salty play is way worse knowing that they have white mana up. Fuck. That's on me. I got greedy. The Wisp play is just so much worse than just like Skyclaving one thing and just keeping a second Recruiter of the guard. Sure, this doesn't matter. We can still draw, like, Skyclave or Cathar Commando or something to be in this game. Like, this doesn't get anything scary anymore. Backer Skull. Alright, well. And now we have a Batter Skull. I have to Stone Rind myself for it. I think it's worth it, because we can Yorion our Batter Skull if we draw another land. Blocking here seems a little aggro. It eats 2 GD counters, right? But if we miss on the land, we can equip an attack and still eat 2 GD counters, right? Because I have to put in Batter Skull and, like, -2 my guy. Or obviously eat 4 GD counters if they just want to... Ah, fuck me. God damn it. I punted this game off a cliff. Stoneforge doesn't do anything. We're a million mana away from Yorion now. Equipping doesn't do anything. It's just a 6/6. Eats 3 GJ counters. And we can't cast Yorion next turn. I missed the legend roll. You need GJ to kill your opponent's GJ. Yeah, that'd be nice right now. God, if we had the Karakas too, we could at least like Stoneforge GJ and play the sword. Or and equip the sword on the same turn. I think I just need to get... What? If I get Cauldron here, it forces 2 pings. But that's post damage, so they'll have 3 left over. I think I just need to get my own GT. My own GT is never getting online. If I draw a land, maybe I can get my GT online with Yorion plus Batter Skull. There's no reason to attack. I'm pretty sure I'm on blocking duty. Damn it. Yeah, I punted this game. Got too excited about the Solitude line, which I just shouldn't have not have done into open mana. This matchup's good. I mean, I pretty savagely punted. They, like, haven't gotten value off of anything, right? Like, they played a Stoneforge, which got value off of something. It's mostly the fact that I just spewed my Recruiter and, like, didn't have an answer to a GT when I didn't need to. This matchup's traditionally, like, very good. In the post-Skyclave era, I should say. It was a lot worse when we didn't have good removal for things. Do I want to block yet? I don't think so. I think I want to equip and attack. This is what? 10, 11, 15? Yeah. Sure. I need to draw planes? Sure. Planes into another land? Or Skyclave would still put me in this game. Skyclave would actually be, like, extremely fine, right? So if I attack, I get to gain 4. But if I Skyclave, they can't kill both my creatures. I want both my creatures for sure. Or I want one of my creatures to, like, put things on. Not out of the woods yet. I think they wanted to be using these GT counters a little bit more aggressively. I'm not sure how much more aggressively, but... me being at 17 instead of, like, being close to dead here is really nice. But they do get to kill my germ here. Which isn't nothing. And with the wasteland in play, it's going to be hard for me to flicker the germ. Because I needed to rip a basic into a land to Yori on my germ. But I'm under a lot less pressure now because I have a 2/2 that lines up against their other things, and it's going to be a 4/4 next turn. If I draw a 4th land, I can, like, sort of Fire and Ice plus GT. Really just want to draw basic planes twice, and then we're... oh dear. So much for my staying alive plan. Draw basic planes. That's not a bad one. It's not a great one. I think I'm dead. Maybe not. Maybe not dead. I don't like fetching. Is Plague Engineer? Ugh. Plague Engineer means I'm dead. I guess I could draw Flicker Wisp. Grist. Oh, I'm dead to Grist too. Fuck. Damn it. I definitely punted this game. It's frustrating. That Solitude play was just so bad into open mana. Just, like, really, really heinous. Yeah, they can kill this and attack everything, force a block. If I draw Flicker Wisp, I think I stay alive, but, like, still not really. Yeah, I don't think I even live with Flicker Wisp draw. Yeah, that's annoying. Yeah, I think there's no way I lose that game, basically, if I just, like, recruit a Skyclave and Skyclave a Mana Dork there. I think there's almost no way. I'm just, like, very much in the driver's seat of that game. Annoying. Yeah, just kind of spewed. Pitching Recruiter there is like... Recruiter's like one of your best cards in the matchup, especially like at that stage of the game. Where we can just recruit a bunch of removal spells and just outvalue them. Like, I don't really care about a Swords to Plowshares as much as I care about answering the stuff that they're doing. Like, I don't care if they're plowing my things, because my Recruiters are going to go get, like, Skyclaves and Solitudes and just kill any permanent that they put into play. Which is much better for me than exchanging my... like, losing 2 Recruiters worth of value, basically, to get a plow out of their hand. Because I burned a Recruiter on the Wisp, which could have been just, like, a Skyclave to answer a thing, and just, like, not used the Solitude. Sat on the Solitude, and sat on the second Recruiter, which can go get another removal spell. Yeah, it's super bad. I think that play is very good, specifically if they're tapped out. I think it's very fine to just attack their mana. They've missed land drops. They Green Sun for a Mana Dork. It's, like, pretty clear that they're stumbling, and we can set up a huge board and just be ahead. But doing that into mana where we get so punished by Swords to Plowshares is, like, the game is still very winnable from there. Like, we still put up a fight, and obviously they had GTA, which like max punished us as well. Like if they didn't have GTA or they had GTA turn later, we get Yorion online and Yorion our recruiter plus Wisp and stuff, then we're still just like very much in the driver's seat of that game. But just we just threw away a bunch of like value to take unnecessary risks. Did not analyze the Noble Hierarch that was untapped. But anyway, that's it. It's double Elam. We're done now. We're dead. We lost twice, so that's gonna be it for the stream. Do one last check in on how everyone else is doing. I want to see how Jason's doing. Oh, Jason lost. Jason lost to the same sneak player that I did. Thanks everyone for coming and hanging out. Well, in fairness, we also 2-0'd Reclaimer Elves twice, so it's basically a tournament win for D&T already. It's kind of funny that we won 2 like really, really bad matchups, and then we won 2 really, really bad matchups. We lost a matchup that's like fine, Sneak and Show, and then we lost like a pretty good matchup in just like normal 60-card Maverick. I think that matchup with Yorion is like much, much better if you don't just like spew a bunch of cards for no reason. But anyway, I'm gonna host Jarvis. Jarvis is doing a he's doing a charity stream for ACS, American Cancer Society. He's been running it all month, and I think it's gonna go until the end of the month. So go and say hi to Jarvis for me, and please donate. I've been donating a bunch usually whenever I tune in. I try to drop some money in for him, but go donate, ! Donate, I think, in his chat to bring up the link for American Cancer Society. Anyway, have a good rest of your day and the rest of your weekend, everybody.